Hey everybody, how you all doing today? Hopefully you're doing great. I'm glad to be back with you guys. So we're going to just double check some settings real quick, making sure everything's loud and clear on my other screen, and it does sound like it is. Going to go ahead and turn on some of that branding. All right, all right. Actually, that's the wrong one, isn't it? Yes. I meant to do this one. All right, that's okay. And yeah, let's go ahead and have you guys smash that like. Let's share the program. Let's get it out there on X, YouTube, and so on. It's going to be a great show. I went down another rabbit hole that's worth paying attention to. You guys probably never heard of SUI, but there's some things that really caught my attention. And again, I'm not trying to hype it. Just present the material. Do it with it as you please. Okay? And of course, BYTE and SUI. That should be one of your key takeaways. We'll get into that here in a bit. Obviously, last Monday when I was doing this show, so was that Monday of this week, there was a big announcement in regards to Quant R3. Yeah, so big things. I want to give you guys a little bit more of my own 2 cents, and then also thank the one and only Quant Papa for his collaboration once again. It's gonna be a great show. Might be WrestleMania. Just gonna be honest about that because most likely won't be any shows over the weekend. Okay, so yeah. Once again, smash the like. Let's get into the comments. We currently have a decent amount of you guys already. So 14 watching on YouTube is what it says, and we have currently 11 likes. Again, smash the like. Really does help. And we have a few guys obviously on X as well. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get more people here, but it's all good. All right, let's welcome the first comment of the day. It is from Brittany. Looking lovely, sharp as always, with the thumbs up. Thank you so much, Ms. Brittany, with 4 thumbs up. Boom. Thank you so much, Brittany. And we also have the one and only Tim Shea, who sprays from far away. He says, hey, thank you so much, Tim. Mara Crypto Commissioner, representing the 589th, I almost messed that up, XRP Army, or his constituents. I messed that up a little bit, didn't I? Anyway, Tim Shea, Mayor Crypto Commissioner, representing the 589th District, there we go, of the XRP Army, his fellow constituents. Thank you for being here, Tim Shea. Let's also welcome Crypto Coin Guy from the Elmo token. He says, good evening, everyone. Well, we are pointing out one meme token. I don't do this often. I have covered BYTE in the past, but boy, did it take the cake tonight. It's crazy. I know it sounds nuts. You're going to see something, and it's actually like research. It's not just the typical like, hey, this is a cool meme token, right? So shout out to you, and welcome back. All right, this got, we have Crypto Holmes 777. Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you so much for being here, Mr. Holmes. Jim Miller is also in the house. Good evening, everyone. That is like the coolest looking dog. You're gonna have to tell us a story about that dog someday. And Dwight Von Tress, like I said, man, before you glow, welcome back. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Praetorian says, buckle up. Hey, Praetorian, I gave you a little shout out. I don't know if you saw last week or so, talking about Luxo. So I will cover Luxo hopefully soon. But yeah, if you guys are interested, check out Luxo. Crypto Coin Guy, the halving is near, the bull is coming, and Max is cooler than AC. Yep. I hope to get that solved here soon in regards to my car. But anyway, thank you very much. Do appreciate you. I might have a special that might air tomorrow, possibly, about the BTC halving and so on, all the nitty gritty parts. I'll either come on the live or I'll make it a premiere, something like that. No guarantees, though. All right. It is going to be WrestleMania, though, tonight, because I'm looking at all my tabs, and I don't know how I don't make it WrestleMania, but maybe it doesn't end up being, but I'm leaning towards it will. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You got to see it for yourself. So, Stump Rider, welcome. Yep, going to be probably E-Tizzle. Faux Shizzle. Love the content, brother. Keep bringing those gems. Thanks, man. I do appreciate that. Never seen ET, smoke one up like that, so that's interesting. I like your avatar. It's funny. All right. We got a few other guys here. I guess there's some other shows going on. Or, you know what? There's just a lot of fear. Let's just be honest. There's lots of fear nobody wants to watch. You guys ever notice that? When there's extreme greed, everybody wants to watch. So everybody wants to come in and watch and buy when everything's sky high. I don't know. Not really, right? But you know how that goes. You know the drill. But yeah, Angus Scrim, I remember you, you know. Back in my days, cod was a fish. You ever gonna get to that point, Maximus Crypto? Are you gonna keep inviting and welcoming people? We're just here for the news. Shut up and sit down. I said no. All right. Get the point. All right. Alejandro Osoria says, greetings. I am from Colombia and I live in Canada. You have me as JASMY fans, or JASMY, man. I forgot how to say it. Anyway, thank you for all your excellent research. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming back. And what we're going to do now is simply jump into what we have on the outline, whether we have a decent crowd tonight or not, because I remember those days. That's how it goes sometimes, right? You like that pre-touring? I forgot you're down in Brazil, right? Anyway, good stuff. All right. So, anyway, well, let's jump into the outline. Give me a follow on X. You'd be glad you did. I do post exclusive research also over there. So we're going to jump into the first thing that was mentioned from yesterday. And it comes from the one and only Elon Musk. Yes, Elon Musk. Why point some of these things out? Well, you're going to have to see it for yourself, obviously. So let's go ahead and pull this up from Elon Musk. And if you guys are on Crypto X, you see these announcements quite a bit, don't you not? So he mentions this exclusively yesterday. And he goes on to mention, all right, this is not the first time he's mentioned it, by the way, but he has done this poll, bring Vine back, or bring back Vine, April 17th. And, you know, some of you guys have pointed out, like, I remember Vine. Vine is basically TikTok before TikTok. Right. So where are we going with this? What does this have to do with crypto? All right. Great question. Let's give you a little brief history lesson. Let's take you over to here. You will see here that Vine, of course, was a service. Why point this out? I promise it's going to get good. Vine was an American short form video hosting service where users could share up to a 10-minute long looping video clip. Now, of course, you're already accustomed to such things when it comes to Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, right? But Vine was the one that was provided on the Twitter platform many years ago, back when it was Twitter. And yeah, it got scrapped. Now, as we know, Elon Musk has a history of revitalizing things and bringing things back from the dead, if you will. Did Elon Musk ever meet up with the guy who headed up Vine or one of the co-founders or anybody like that? The answer is yes. Check this out for a second before we get into all that. And you'll see where we get this connection. BYTE SUI. Where's Max going with this? Smash the darn like button. You'll be glad that you did. So look at this for a second. Let's blow it up more. Originally launched, like I said, a while ago, 2013, bought by Twitter. In 2012, before its launch, the service was shut down on January 17, 2017. App was discontinued a few months later. But videos published on Vine's social network would be shared with different social networking platforms. For example, Facebook, you have Instagram, all these other ones that kind of are similar. But the bottom line is, when you go further down, there's some interesting things posted here. Okay. So Vine app, right here, yes. Vine app was allowed to be used to browse those videos, see trending videos. By December 2015, were you aware that Vine had over 200 million active users? Why the heck would Twitter want to scrap something like this? Interesting. You know, always interesting to look more into some of these things. If you have something that works, why scrap it? You know, especially with a company like, you know, Twitter back in the day. I'd be asking that. Well, what's also interesting is when you go further down here for more of the history, and I know this is Wikipedia, but bear with me, and that is when Twitter launched this online archive on January 20th, 2017, that had every Vine video that had ever been published, the archive was officially discontinued literally 2 years later in 2019. Vine's co-founder, who's Dom Hoffman, created a successor not affiliated with Twitter, but launched on January 24, 2020 as BYTE. And of course, was renamed twice, discontinued May 3rd, 2023. Now, I want to talk about that for a second, okay? Because as we know, when it comes to Elon Musk, his AI dog, right? His name is BYTE. And, some people say, well, you don't have an official announcement that, Elon Musk has selected BYTE. True. But guess what? You never had an official announcement that he ever selected Shiba Inu. You never had an official announcement that he selected Floki. But those meme tokens soared, did they not? Correct. Yeah, you saw it happen in the past. Doge, Shiba Inu, et cetera, Floki. Where I'm going with this is understanding that even though I don't talk about meme coins often, once in a while I will, and I'll point out the things, in my opinion, that really, really matter if you look more into it. Let's get more into this. You'll be glad that you paid attention to this. So when we zoom in a little bit more, you will see this. So let's talk about this guy, Dom Hoffman. When we go to the next particular page, you will see that, he did some things. He created, I should say, this thing here. I'm going to go back to the other page, which is called Huddles. I think I was on the right page on that. Sorry about that. So Huddles was originally called V2, and then BYTE, and later on Clash. It was an American short form video hosting service, social network. Again, don't forget this part if you're taking notes, where users create looping videos between 2 to 16 seconds long, created by a team that was led by Dom Hoffman, a successor of Vine. Initially as teased, V2 was branded as BYTE, November 2018, 3-year closed beta, launched on Apple's App Store, then Google Play Store. But when it went to Clash, it was then later renamed to Huddles, and then, of course, was discontinued May 3rd, 2023. Here's the logo back then, 2018. And, it's all interesting. Where am I going with this, right? That's what I'd be asking. Well, you have to keep in mind that when you see this, that, I say to myself, I think it's worth pointing out. So November, at least then, of 2018, the project was moving forward with a funding team under the new BYTE branding. At the time, website invited users to sign up for updates and for content creators to join its creator program. The program was shut down, though, in August, and the BYTE team announced that they would be using this time to take everything they learned to apply towards future opportunities and programs. Interesting. As you go further down, there's now 2020. Now they're on iOS and Android, 40 countries, so on and so forth. Talks about taglines, creativity first, how they had a program to compensate creators like myself. In the media, BYTE was referred to as a direct competitor to TikTok. Everybody knows about TikTok, right? I don't need to talk you guys' ears about TikTok, excuse me. As I get more into the whole thing of Dom Hoffman, it's apparent that this guy, is a successful entrepreneur. He's got a lot of interesting things, especially when it comes to his background, but more in particular, BYTE, formerly dubbed V2. Okay. So I decided to take more look into this, and I said to myself, interesting. Elon Musk obviously has a history of bringing things back from the dead. Now, this is not a nothing burger at all. And when I looked more into it, I said, man, is this becoming like a deep dive in regards to like meme coin? Like me doing a deep dive on a meme coin? Is it just a meme coin? Or is there something else a little bit more that needs to be expanded upon? And if so, what the heck is that? Well, let's take you over to this. And if anything, yes, to answer the question, Elon Musk loves to bring things back from the dead. How so? Look at this. Here's an old picture of him. PayPal. Look at this. X.com. Literally holding a debit card for X payments. Now, we understand, especially with the deep dives, that in my opinion, he's going to go with Stellar for payments. Some of you guys have said it's going to be Velo. I think it's going to be the umbrella of anything in that ecosystem. Personally, especially SHX for like remittances, it's just going to be an umbrella effect. But if you were wondering if he's ever disapproved of things in the past and try to bring him back from the dead, the answer is yes. As you can see here, back in the day with Zip2, he provided business directories of maps, newspapers, et cetera, et cetera. 1999, Compaq acquired Zip2 for nearly $307 million. Musk left the company after acquisition. Then Musk founded PayPal. You know the drill. We talked about this before. And of course, disagreements. Didn't like, the direction it was going in, right? Well, basically speaking, after leaving PayPal, here's a little bit more about this. He decided to, take things to a different, I guess you could say, part of his life. I don't know. He went on a different journey, but he didn't forget where he came from. This statement here from India Today, Elon Musk used to rewrite code of engineers who were working for him at Zip2 after they went home. So he doesn't forget things, even though he walked away from them, is the bottom line. Let me share this with you for a second. Here's another person from this whole thing of Vine. This is Russ Yusupov. He was designer, tech entrepreneur, best known as the co-founder of Vine, co-founder and CEO or at HQ Trivia. And what's interesting is when you see that even though we're in the modern day, this guy co-founded Vine. And like it says, Vine was sold to Twitter October 2012 for reported $30 million. Shortly after the service's official launch, that is, back in 2013, Vine hit #1 on the App Store for free downloads, became the most used video sharing application in the market at the time. This gentleman that you see in the picture here, he left Twitter in late 2015 after Vine was deprioritized by Twitter. Yusupov tweeted, "Don't sell your company." Interesting. After leaving Twitter, he co-founded Intermedia Labs and App Studio 2015. But yeah, he had all this stuff going on. And it's interesting to see, the statements, especially as of yesterday. All right, let me share you guys something. Did Elon Musk ever meet with this guy? The answer is yes. How so? Do I have proof? I have proof. Let's go ahead and share that as well. Boom, here you go. Here's a picture. Elon Musk was meeting about saving Vine. People forgot. Or maybe you didn't even know. Here's the picture. Lovely picture. Okay. This was that gentleman that was from that Wikipedia entry, right, from Vine, who is basically this guy, right? He's aged since then. We all age. So Russ Yusupov, okay? But anyway, bottom line is they met. They talked. What happened? Well, let's get more into this. Here's the next part. Pay attention to this. I'm telling you flat out, it's all going to make sense. Would not give you something that would not make sense. I don't do that. Look at this. Elon Musk asked his engineers to dig up all the Vine from Twitter archives. Updated on the November 2022. The short video platform allowed users to post 6-second videos, right? Popular in 2013. Some of you guys might have used this, right? From Mumbai, okay? Basically shares or shows this. Says Elon Musk looking for ways to improve the newly bought social network, now known as X, basically. Found this whole thing. And yeah, he had his engineers work on Vine code to bring back Vine. Why would he do that? So again, back to the whole thing of TikTok, right? You can look more into this if you choose to do so. I'm going to jump to this next part. Let's share this. This is, again, from the Vine service. How many times do you see the word BYTE mentioned here? 2018, Dom Hoffman, upcoming successor to Vine. BYTE was previously known as V2. By application launched publicly a year later. Elon Musk completed his purchase of social media company on Twitter. Hold on, let me go down to the next part. Huddles originally was named BYTE, like I pointed out. Back in 2018, Hoffman announced the official name for V2 would be BYTE. Set for release of spring 2019, BYTE underwent a closed beta period. Community members from a BYTE dedicated forum who were invited to test the app. BYTE was officially launched on the iOS and Android stores January 24th, 2020. On the 26th, 2021, of January 26th, I should say, Hoffman announced the BYTE forum that the app would be run by a company named Clash. Months later, BYTE was renamed or relaunched and renamed to Clash, and should be renamed again to Huddles. The history now gets to May 3rd, 2023, announced discontinuation, standalone services, series of tweets, so on and so forth. And then there's also this. There was a process of commencing immediately upon announcement to remove Huddles app and so on. Like, what went down there, right? And this is, if you think about it, this is not a full year. May 3rd, coming up here in a few weeks, would be a full year. Is that all Max has? No, I don't have just that. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I want to share this. This is all going to make so much sense, and you could be like, what the heck? That's the way I took it. Maybe some people won't say what the heck, and that's okay too. Look at this for a second. This is really, really interesting. Blow this up. What does it say here? It says from politico.com/news, and I'll drop this in the comments for you guys just in case you want to read it yourself. Look at this. Okay. You will see here Chinese diplomats, like it says, quietly meeting with Hill staffers about TikTok. After a bill that would force the sale of the company passed the House, diplomats from the Chinese embassy met with Hill offices to push talking points defending the app. When was this? This was posted yesterday, April 17th, 2024. I understand why Max does that whole thing of the past to bring it to the present. Give us an idea of the future. Yeah, I do it all the time. Welcome to the show, right? Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here, especially when you could be doing other things. You don't think I appreciate you guys? I appreciate you guys every single day. I count my blessings. I count them one by one. I count my many blessings. I see what God has done. So let's blow this up. I want you guys to see this for yourself, just in case you're Boomer F it sooner, chilling with his dog Monica on the couch. Maybe Boomer's not here tonight, and that's okay too. So Chinese embassy held these meetings with Congress to lobby against the legislation that would force a sale of TikTok, according to the two Capitol Hill staffers. TikTok, which is owned by Beijing-based company ByteDance, has repeatedly denied a relationship with the Chinese government and sought to distance itself from Chinese origins. But now, with the fate of legislation to force the sale of the company facing an uncertain path forward in the Senate, the Chinese embassy appears to be leveraging its political weight to protect the company's future in the United States. Meetings, of course, happened on the Hill, and there was a back and forth conversation. But as we go further down, you will see this thing where it talks about how the Senate granted anonymity to discuss conversations that were not authorized to reveal publicly. The meetings, which took place with Chinese diplomats, were held after the House in March overwhelmingly voted in favor of protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act, the legislation forced ByteDance to sell TikTok. Now, I'm going to pause there for a second. I want everybody to understand this. Sometimes it's just as simple as just digging deeper. My thing is this. I will always try to, unless I run out of time, recognize things that create supply and demand. Action, reaction. If Elon Musk is coming up with these announcements, publicly speaking, asking for a poll, I could put two and two together just as much as the next guy. So can you. With that said, what kind of reaction will we see from this? Where am I going with the freaking BYTE meme token? And SUI? Max, could you please just get into it? You better believe I will. Here's why I'm going to get into this. As we jump into the next particular part, there is this interview. Yeah, an interview. Where? CNBC. Now I get it. Not everybody's a fan of CNBC. Now I'm trying to make it political. However, hopefully he doesn't play the ad because everybody skipped the ad. listen to this. You're going to see this guy, right? Remember him? That's right. Russ Yusupov being interviewed in this particular segment, talking about some things, some interesting things. And that is this: why Vine's co-founder thinks an American TikTok is a good thing. I think we know where we're going with this. This is under 5 minutes. Smash that darn like button. You'd be glad that you tuned in tonight, because I'm telling you flat out, call it a bombshell, call it whatever you want. You have to hear it for yourself. Here we go.
We've talked a long time about the strength of TikTok's algo, the way in which it becomes a cultural force in its communities. How long can they run into these landmines like they have in India and now here?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here is TikTok stumbling as they're trying to expand internationally. And if they want to succeed here in the States, they really need to create a distinctly US brand and bring in US leadership. And hopefully this deal with Microsoft or another acquirer comes to fruition, which I think it will.
How do you think it answers the concerns of those who are most hawkish in the White House, at least?
Look, I love the Microsoft and TikTok deal for a few reasons. I think TikTok in America is a good thing. We need more competition in tech, not less. And it remains to be seen if TikTok is the right acquirer and if they can actually scale the service reliably and responsibly. But I'm also very concerned. I think here we see how Trump can yield his power to drive a more favorable deal for his administration. And having influence and leverage like this really early in the deal could mean that TikTok could become Trump talk, right? This kind of influence over an acquisition could also mean influence over how user data is collected by our government. And that comes with a lot of potential problems.
Russ, Julia Borston here. You said competition is good in this space. Now, speaking of competition, just today, Facebook's Instagram unveiled Reels, which is their TikTok-like tool that's going to be part of Instagram. How do you see that playing into this? Do you think Reels will be a real competitor to TikTok and could draw people over, especially in the midst of all this controversy?
Absolutely. I think Facebook and Instagram have done an incredible job in creating the types of features and functionality that video creators really want. TikTok was able to evolve the medium by innovating around the creation tool and bringing lip syncing and dance videos to a new generation. They've also been able to innovate around distribution with their algorithms, so they can pair creators up with their niche audiences without having people search and hunt for different accounts to follow to develop a follow graph, right? Following an account on TikTok isn't really necessary. You just browse through the feed and you get content tailored to you, and that's incredibly powerful in terms of distribution. They've also been able to innovate around monetization. So they successfully bring in advertising and virtual gifts with live streaming so creators can monetize this way. I think Instagram has a challenge on their hands in competing with TikTok around distribution and monetization for creators. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. I'm also excited about new players in the world of social media and video.
Well, Russ, how do you think that this evolving competitive setup filters into the conversations and the price that Microsoft might be interested in paying for TikTok, just because TikTok came so fast in terms of getting to massive scale that you almost wonder if that's a reminder that something else could come along pretty quickly as well. I mean, does TikTok have some kind of a moat there that they can protect?
I think their moat is frankly pretty weak. There are lots of opportunities for startups in this tech landscape to build something new, to innovate around creation tools, to innovate around distribution and monetization. So apps like BYTE are bringing real competition to TikTok, and I'm a huge fan of BYTE and what the team is doing there. And I think another way to compete here is just by bringing people something that's never been done before. So we should expect to see a lot of activity in the competitive landscape here.
Okay, obviously we're not done yet. Gonna get into a few more other things. I got to close out some tabs. I literally have like 100 tabs on my screen. So much research and crazy stuff, right? So yes, let's get into a little bit more about this. Just bear with me for just a moment. Once it gets chopped up later, you'll obviously see why. So nice interview to say the least. All right, let's take it here. This is from Reuters. Okay, all you guys, get on Reuters and so on. So, U.S. House passes bill to force ByteDance to divest TikTok or face ban. Kind of talked a little bit about this, right? March 14th. Here's some of the people, so on, right? So, like it mentions, overwhelmingly passed, at least the House did, in regards to this bill that would give TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance about 6 months to divest the U.S. assets of the short video app, face ban if they don't, and the greatest threat to the app since the Trump administration. The bill passed 352 to 65 in a bipartisan vote. And then on top of that, you do see here, it faced a more uncertain path in the Senate, where some favor a different approach to regulating foreign-owned apps posing security concerns. So I'm telling you flat out, Elon Musk has strategically, he's kind of like forced to position himself in a way for preparing for the oh crap moments. You don't go through all the hell he went through with this transitioning of Twitter to obviously X, and then you're done. You're right. Oh, I'm good. No, there's still other battles that have to be fought. What the heck does this have to do with the Byte meme or SUI? I understand. Again, we're going to get to that. So, jumping into this, some of you guys are asking, well, all this stuff about TikTok. I mean, can you buy TikTok stock? The answer is no. Here's a little announcement about that. So it says TikTok doesn't trade on public markets. However, does offer some employees restricted stock units, which they can invest time as long as they remain employed. Is TikTok on the stock market? No, it's not. You can't buy it, at least not directly. So more info about this, okay? And, basically, I want to give you guys some quick notes before I kick it over to like the actual things that we should also pay attention to. All right. So for one, you have to keep in mind supply and demand. Okay. So we mentioned Byte. All right. In the past, Elon Musk has mentioned, his Shiba Inu dog. He's mentioned what's the dog's name? The dog's name is Floki. When did he name his Shiba Inu puppy? Some people ask about that. Well, he named it on September 12, 2021. Interesting. Okay. I remember last year we were covering some of this. Look at this for a second. Here's that announcement from Elon Musk. New CEO, Twitter. He's amazing. Here's the dog. Cute dog, right? I mean, who doesn't love dogs? I mean, let's just be honest. Maybe some people don't, but super cute dog. Okay. And like it says, the prices of these coins kind of went up. Floki up 50%, right? Because of the naming. So whatever he does, the prices of these things go up. Is there a little bit more detail about this? Well, I took the liberty to get into doing a little bit more research in regards to this. You guys know me, I don't really talk about meme tokens too often. All right. But I feel as though there's ones in the bull market that really will shine. All right. And don't get me wrong, some of you guys done really well with Pepe and some of these other ones. Hey, awesome. Okay. For the purposes of this segment, I think you should pay attention to this. So I'm telling you, go out and you buy a bunch of Byte or SUI or any of this stuff. No, I'm just providing you information. Do it as you please. Right. Look at this for a second. I really took the liberty to, as the saying goes, when in doubt, zoom out. Or in this case, let's zoom in. This is Floki, Floki. A lot of you guys are into Floki. I don't own Floki, but I own Shiba Inu, I own Doge, I own BYTE. All right, nothing against Floki. Okay, if you hold Floki, awesome. So check this out. I zoomed in. Let's look at it for ourselves. September 3rd, 2021. All right, here is September 11th, 2021. And then the announcement was September 12th, right? All right, so right around here, yeah, something happened. And then, you know, it takes time for news to get passed around. Call it buy the rumor, sell the news. Call it whatever you want. But the fact is, something happened. It's called Elon Musk happened. And his announcement happened. And then boom. So look here. We are at, before the announcement, roughly 401367. Watch this, guys. I'm just being honest. Just watch this. You might not like meme tokens, and I get it. But watch this. Then boom, Elon Musk mentions something. Word gets around, and then all of a sudden there's a climb. And boy, oh boy, maybe it just took time for the word to get out. But we literally ate a whole zero. You know, and some of you guys think that eating a whole zero is not a big deal. Trust me, when it comes to meme tokens, it's a huge deal. All right. So from here, before, what was that? So 4 zeros, 1686, eats a whole zero, then goes to 3 zeros, 3008. And that's just off of Floki. Okay. All right. Do I have another example? I do have another example. Let's give you the next example. This is Shiba Inu, my beloved Shiba Inu. I don't get to talk about enough, but it's okay. So let's do the same thing. Let's take a look at this. All right. So basically, like right around here, 10th, 11th, so on and so forth. 0.350699, give or take. A little blip because something was mentioned here. You know what I mean? All right, kind of somewhat went on. And then boom, takes time for, you know, people to, I guess, find out about some of this stuff. And then shortly after, big rise. So we went from literally 345069, let's just call it that. And then more of this buy the rumor, I guess you could say. And then boom, look at this. 1027. So not even a month and a half later, it goes to 407924. Now that's not all-time highs for SHIB, but you know, we have seen it as high as 4089, I think. So it's almost close to that. All right. Again, that's another perfect example. Okay. I think you get the idea with that. Now, let's take you over to the next example. This is good stuff. I'm telling you. You guys might hate meme tokens, whatever the case be. It's still worth pointing out. There's money, obviously, to be made in meme tokens. Let's take you to the next part. Here we go. All right, here's this announcement. I know I'm not in the frame. It doesn't matter. Elon Musk endorsement Dogecoin boosted it 55%. When was that? February 8, 2021. Okay. What about the whole thing of BYTE? Do we have an example? Is it today's example? Yep. Here's today's example. He announced it yesterday. Action, reaction, boil it, mash it, stick it in a stew. What do you see here? Yeah. And the market, how is this market doing overall? Well, you know how it's been doing overall. Things kind of suck right now, right? But interesting to see this 28, 29% roughly, in my opinion, from that reaction. Yeah. What about Token Sniffer? Does it still have a good score? I'm not doing all the contracts, but it still has a good score. Yeah. 100 out of 100. We covered this before. I did see a post somebody mentioned in regards to, you know, the whole thing of, well, at the very bottom, it says this. And I did see that myself recently. It says, warning, excessive amount of liquidity burn often could indicate scam. Contact the token creator. Well, still, it's 100 out of 100. I don't know why they would flag it on that. When I went more into this, let's jump back there for a second. Somebody pointed this out. I think it's on the far right side. Let me go click on the latest. You will see what I'm talking about here in a second. So I believe it's in here, right? There it is. This guy says, "What's this? Can you explain this?" Well, some people from the community explained it. And basically speaking, like the guy said, there's no blacklist that can happen. The contract ownership is renounced. Do your own research before saying nonsense. Right. And how do we know that the contract is renounced? Well, even in the audit, when you go to it, you will see that it's check marked here on the analysis, ownership renounced. So it meets that criteria. So that is worth pointing out. I don't know what the deal is with token stuff or why they're doing that. All right, let's get to the next part about this for a second. This is also good stuff. This is from the blog. I'm going to go ahead and post this in the comments for you guys, so you can see it for yourself, just in case you're following along. All right. For everybody else that's driving down the road, you're going to have to listen, and that's fine. So this was posted April 18th, which is today. TikTok owner ByteDance tech arm collaborating with who? SUI builders, SUI, on Web3 gaming and social-fi. Interesting. It says ByteDance Plus, the venture technology arm of TikTok parent company ByteDance, partnering, of course, with Mistin Labs, the builder on a layer 1 blockchain suite. I did look more into SUI, and that's what it shows up as being its own blockchain. A little bit more about this. TikTok's owner, ByteDance Enterprise Tech Services subsidiary, ByteDance Plus, partnering with Mistin Labs to enhance Web3 gaming and social-fi offerings on SUI, Mistin's blockchain network. It announced this, of course, yesterday morning on a blog post by the project's foundation. ByteDance Plus will collaborate with Mistin Labs to offer various services to SUI, including recommendation, solutions, augmented reality products. Now, for some of you guys that don't know what augmented reality products are, basically speaking, I mean, like you have like headsets, you have, what they call AR glasses. They're like wearable glasses, like that you put on and so on, right? There's a bunch of other examples. Like, for example, there's the whole thing of AR apps, right? Basically, like there's software applications that will literally allow you to use your smartphone or tablet's camera to display computer-generated images on screen. There's also AR apps that can be used for a variety of purposes: gaming, education, shopping. I mean, a mountain of lists. Games, educational apps. There's just a bunch of things when it comes to that specifically. I want to jump more into this because it's good stuff. So ByteDance Plus offers quite a bit, offers the whole thing of products for builders, including AI recommendation algorithm solutions, and ByteDance Plus CDN, a network of servers and data centers for accelerated delivery. According to Mistin Labs, these products in themselves will allow the builder to drive Web3 video game collaborations with major game development companies. Look at that, guys. In addition, ByteDance Plus, if you weren't aware of it, will also do this. They will allow you to lend data to its warehousing and AI-powered algorithmic tools to builders on the Layer 1 blockchain, supercharging their analytics and enabling them to scale infinitely. That's a bold statement. Look at this for a second. A little bit more about AI, and this time SUI. By integrating cutting-edge AI recommendation and visual algorithms into SUI, it signifies a leap towards enhancing user experience within the Web3 game platforms and even social-fi projects. Social-fi. That sounds interesting. ByteDance Plus and Mistin Labs are also collaborating on rolling out programs to build SUI's community, such as international hackathons and an educational series. All right. Now, who wrote this for a second? Well, this is from Elizabeth Napolitano. She's a data reporter covering business and technology news. And before joining the block, listen to her background. She reported on big tech, AI, crypto, video games, all this stuff. Like, this is her passion. I can appreciate that. So, what else do we have? Well, let's take you over to this. This is SUI. And I know some of you guys were saying SEI. I'm aware of that one as well. But this, for the purpose of sharing what we have tonight, this is SUI. So yes, let's get into this as well. You will see here some things. I'm just going to cover what's on the surface just a little bit. This is not a deep dive necessarily about SUI, but I'm going to point out a few key things. Number one, there's a total and max supply that match each other of 10 billion SUI. Okay? Yes, people are going to point out there's only 12.96% in circulation. They have people point out the fears of, well, what if the devs dump all this, delusion, you're going to, cause the value of the coin to tank. Again, do more of your own research, see if it's for you. I'm just providing information. They are their own blockchain, you can see right there. And of course, there's more information. As I go over to markets on the surface, you can get this on Binance, Coinbase, I think also crypto.com, Kraken, on a lot of big exchanges, obviously. Okay. As I go to the about area, like it says, it is a layer 1 blockchain and does support the needs of what global adoption by offering secure, powerful, scalable development. As core, it leverages novel object-centric data model to secure move programming language to address inefficiencies prevalent in existing blockchain architectures. Another thing I really like that was pointed out is SUI creates a higher standard for user experience in Web3, assuring applications are accessible and, of course, user-friendly. Again, think about that. Let's zoom out for a second. I'm going to come back in the frame. When I see statements like that, you got to put in layman's terms. Well, that's all you got to do. You put it in layman's terms because a standard for user experience, ensuring applications are accessible and user-friendly. If we're talking about TikTok, how do you get people who don't even understand blockchain and DLT, right, to be on board with something like this? Right. TikTok, let's face it, whether you're a fan of it or not, it is user-friendly. So there's that. What makes this thing whole, SUI unique? I'll come out of the frame on this one. Let's talk about this for a second. So what makes it unique is its architecture. Well, no kidding. Low latency transactions, stable transaction fees, high throughput, horizontal scaling, parallel execution, powers developers with capabilities such as to do what they need with Web3 applications. As I went further down into this, it talks about dramatic improvements to crucial network processes, such as transaction processing, enables the whole thing of objects on SUI, explicitly define transaction dependencies. Transactions on SUI are able to be executed in parallel. Look at this for a second. You know how you guys talk about certain projects, we don't want to, I've seen this happen with Ripple, XLM, you name it. A lot of people have mentioned the whole thing of that they're tired of seeing what could be with the messaging. What they want to see is what's mentioned here, and that is what? I'll go right down to it. They want to see consensus. I guess I did have a highlight. So this thing talks about consensus requirements that allow specific transactions to actually bypass consensus and be completed significantly faster. We talk about utility in motion, taking one step out of the equation. I think that's a big deal. And of course, that's no disrespect to Ripple, XRP, and XLM. I'm not going to, quit owning those just because I see this, but it is worth pointing out because there has to be things that make this unique. Many transactions are finalized, settled in less than half a second, all while maintaining high throughput and stable transaction fees. What about the people that build on SUI? Well, their focus is to provide solutions that overcome barriers in Web3 and those adoptions. They have tools that natively allow developers such as ZK login, sponsored transactions, addressing barriers such as wallet onboarding and transaction fees, respectively. Of course, they have a wallet. There's all sorts of more info. I'm going to jump now over to this and share another key thing that I want to point out with you guys. And I'm telling you flat out, all things will come full circle here in a bit. So what was mentioned here? Well, look at this as well. This is definitely worth pointing out as well. So you will see here some of the, as I would say, the nitty gritty. BYTE Plus partnered with Miston Labs for AI integration in SUI blockchain. And what does it say? It says that BYTE Plus is a unit of TikTok parent and Miston Labs, architects of the SUI Layer 1 blockchain, establishing a strategic relationship. Here's some highlights, and that is, of course, this integration of AI algorithms with SUI blockchain. There's this whole thing of how SUI will be able to combine its entire nodes data with BYTE House. Who are they? They're a cloud-native data warehouse for real-time and batch analysis. They improve performance, guaranteeing faster delivery for users. The deal with BYTE Plus comes as SUI ecosystem has been growing recently. But back to the whole thing about TikTok. Their owner, which is ByteDance, going to partner with Miston Labs to integrate AI algorithms on SUI blockchain. The firm's first venture into Web3 and AI comes at a time when the industry has been gaining traction from both consumers and users. So let's come back full circle on this. What was one of the main things we just talked about? We talked about the whole thing of, you're literally being looked upon under a magnifying glass, scrutinized about what you're doing with data. Now understand action, reaction, supply, demand. Demand forces are literally in place, and the action is, if we are going to lose the American market, then we need to embrace technologies where we are future-proof, where we are immutable, where things can be verified on a public permissionless blockchain. This simply makes sense. What about for you as an investor? Well, none of this is financial advice, but the way I'm looking at it is, yes, market-driven demand for these particular technologies. This is a perfect example of that. Let's get more into this for a second. So, as you can see, BYTE Plus struck a deal with Miston, and Miston Labs have formed a strategic alliance with BYTE Plus, enterprise technology division of ByteDance, the company that, of course, owns TikTok. And to do what? To expand into the Web3 space. They realize they are the biggest name when it comes to this whole thing of, an app for social media and the kids out there and so on. Who doesn't have or know somebody that has a kid that uses it? Many of you guys still use TikTok, right? Whether we want to get political or not. I don't want to get into that conversation right now. But the point is, we all know about TikTok, unless we've been living under a rock. What you also see here, worth pointing out, is that I guess that is the last part. Oh, it's my notes. Apologize. Yeah, let me talk about this for a second. This is good stuff too. So, ByteDance. We are almost done with this. Listen to this for a second. ByteDance. From what I gathered on my notes, good notes. ByteDance partnering with SUI. Well, from what I've seen, multiple sources say it's basically true. ByteDance's tech arm, which is called BYTE Plus, working with SUI to enhance, like we said before, features of the SUI blockchain, especially in Web3 and SocialFi, which is, if you weren't aware, called social finance. Now, while it doesn't directly translate to TikTok on the blockchain, the partnership in itself focuses on areas that could potentially integrate with what? Social media. This is why I want to share with you guys even the whole thing with BYTE, because as we know, there's going to be a lot of pressure on companies that are involved with social media, hence your X's, your Facebooks, and so on, understanding who will emerge, right? Who will take action, who will take this call to action and respond swiftly, efficiently in regards to that. Another thing I want to keep in mind, BYTE Plus leveraging its expertise on AI and data to what? Well, to develop tools that SUI will benefit from, Web3 games, social-fi projects? How about improving recommendation systems within the SUI ecosystem? Now, I feel as though that this in itself could indirectly influence how TikTok, of course, operates. Hear me out. You got to keep in mind, it's a shift of TikTok to blockchain tech, but it's not being mentioned everywhere. And that's also worth pointing out. So I think all these things need to get mentioned, but more importantly, for you guys, understanding what it means for SUI, because we're talking about SUI moving forward. Well, from what I gathered, there's several key challenges for this, obviously. And paving the way to get towards wider adoption with these Web3 apps is going to be challenging, but I think this is how it's going to be done. So number one, when we went to the site, and you guys actually go more into the site, there is going to be mentioned here in a bit. It's going to talk about faster transactions, lower cost. SUI offers lower transactions, or low latency transactions, I should say, with stable fees. That is where we need to be with so many things, if you really think about it, because when we talk about how crypto can't be, like the big institutions aren't going to get involved if you have something that's very volatile, right? Well, even China, call it what you want. So I think as though that this is going to mean quicker processing and predictable costs, but it's going to make it more user-friendly and scalable. Has to be. We're talking TikTok. I mean, last I seen, probably, was it over 7 billion people in the world? Imagine that TikTok users might be very well 1 or 2 billion of the world's population. Let's just be real about that, or more. What about this whole thing of highly efficient throughput that was mentioned on the About page from CMC? Hear me out on this. Horizontal scaling, parallel execution does allow SUI to handle a large volume of transactions, of course, simultaneously. I like hearing that. I don't like hearing like, oh, well, we can only do one layer of this, but the other one, well, we're going to have some throttling. Nobody wants to hear about that, I've got throttling bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? Nobody got time for that. This is crucial, guys, for real-world applications with high user bases, or in this case, TikTok. Let me just Google it real quick. How many TikTok users are there? Over 1 billion. Fourth largest social media platform in the world by monthly active users, is double the size of Snapchat and quickly catching up to Instagram. Action, reaction. I would definitely say that. I would definitely stand by that. So there's that. What about the whole thing of creating a powerful and secure development environment? Hear me out on this too. The object-oriented design with Move programming language empowers developers to create complex applications with built-in safety features. That sounds crazy, right? But it does reduce vulnerabilities and fosters trust in the ecosystem. Trust in the ecosystem? TikTok needs that trust right now because the Senate, especially here in the United States, doesn't have a lot of trust in TikTok. Again, guys, action, reaction. What about improved user experience? Because at the end of the day, it is TikTok users, and most of them are young kids, and they don't know what's going on with all this stuff going on in the background in the world, politics, and so on, right? Right. So tools like this thing called ZK Login simplify onboarding, sponsor transactions, address wallet management for those of us that are into this stuff, right? And fee concerns, making SUI more accessible to more users, or a mass adoption. Now, in conclusion, from what I gathered, SUI's architecture in itself signifies a step forward for blockchain tech. It offers a combination of speed, security, developer-friendly tools, and can lead, of course, to a robust, innovative Web3, applications and so on. The future decentralization of TikTok, does that not sound bullish as all hell? I think it does. Let me take you over to this. This will wrap it up here. Second to last thing. I know this is kind of a deep dive. Well, you guys know me. I do this, right? Look at this. Let's blow this up for a second. This is straight from the SUI Foundation. I'm going to drop it in the comments for all you guys that are watching on the live. You will see here something incredibly interesting. And that is what? Well, the performance update. That was April of last year. They performed a series of tests to determine, as an SUI, current peak throughput on various workloads, as well as time to finality. And how big is it? 297,000 TPS. Now I get it. We're not covering BSV tonight or anything like that. There's other ones way more impressive when it comes to that. But we have to go with the one that was chosen. The one that was chosen will happen to be this, SUI. As I got more into this, I decided to myself, you know what? This deserves to be mentioned and brought to the community. You will see the key results. SUI network with 100 globally distributed validators that achieve peak throughput ranging from 10,871 TPS to a whopper of 297,000. That tells me it's not that it's got to be super fast for every transaction, but it will at least allow for what? That right there, guys, is an example of scalability. So various workloads, right? Time to finality, about 480 milliseconds. Gives a whole thing about, what they did with like a MacBook Pro. Gives characterization performance levels. It's all here. And of course, they talk about in order to achieve high fidelity and realistic performance results, they had to put into characterization. They had to use a globally distributed setup, closely mirroring mainnet in terms of hardware, configurations, number of validators, geographic distribution of those validators, and voting power distribution. You guys have seen this with other projects, right? Here it is, various countries, England, even states like Texas, Illinois, Florida, IP addresses by country, 100 validators. It even talks about some of the core memory and all this stuff, right? So you could research this more for yourself, and I would recommend that you do that. Very, very impressive, to say the least. Now, getting into the last part of this, and that is this right here. Let's talk about this for a second before we wrap up the segment and kick it back into the comments. You will see something incredibly interesting, and that is MeWe. They are social network boss, or I should say their social network boss says blockchain can solve the TikTok problem. When it was posted? Yesterday. Understand, again, Elon Musk posting what he posted yesterday. Pay attention to what the big players do because you'll have an idea where things are going. CEO Jeffrey Edel laid out a 6-point plan for social media companies planning to transition to the blockchain. And as you get more into this, you'll see that he penned an op-ed, I should say, detailing how he believes the situation between the United States government and China's TikTok could be avoided by implementing, of course, blockchain technologies. This is another person, right? This isn't me. This is somebody, obviously, with a lot more connections than me. I'm just a guy bringing info. But Edel is the unique position of helming a social media company with, or he isn't, I should say, with reporting more than 20 million users that made the leap from traditional Web 2 to the blockchain. We know the situation with TikTok, so I'm not going to get into that again. But he says that while the concerns surrounding TikTok are valid, he believes the focus should not solely be on the app or one country. So the companies should work towards creating and setting strict guidelines for handling personal data, digital identity, users' privacy, regardless of their origin. Now, we do have some JASMY, obviously, later today. And, of course, JASMY stands out with that. Again, I just want you guys to see some of these other things that were showing up in the news. And I thought, obviously, wow, what a big, big deal. So in conclusion, what I want you guys to know or share is, what do you think in regards to this? Is this a perfect example of action reaction? You think it's just a buy the rumor, sell the news? My thing is this: understanding if we talk about mass adoption, and we have given examples, especially when it comes to finance democracy or cross-border payments of, look at these ISO coins, and here's what the big money is doing, and so on. And here's Stellar, for example, and Stellar XLM. We're talking about the the peer-to-peer money, and what's going to happen with that, which is obviously a big deal, and the key towards mass adoption. How would you like to have an example of you may very well have mass adoption literally at your doorstep? Because, like we mentioned out in the past, shout out to Mike Cornwell, Elon Musk, he always stated, watch out for when you get a point in time where it's your grandma, your aunt, whoever the case be. They don't even know about blockchain. They don't even know about DLT. They don't know a squat about any of this stuff. But they'll go to swipe their debit card and not even realize it's tied to what? Crypto, blockchain, DLT, and so on. What about this example? SUI, not even realizing that it's tied to TikTok. And the TikTok users aren't even aware of that? You don't think that's instant flip of the switch? Mass adoption? I think it is. Now, the point I want to share in regards to BYTE earlier, as we know, that's why I was giving those examples in regards to meme tokens. Elon Musk, he talks about some of these things as action reaction. So if we go with, for example, Vine, and understand he already named his AI blockchain dog BYTE. Again, what will you see from that? Again, just bringing you guys news, information. Take it as you please, but it definitely caught my eye, and I thought I'd bring it to you guys. Hope that you guys enjoyed this particular segment of the night. Not every day gets talked about a meme token, but I do personally hold BYTE, and wow, interesting. Do I hold SUI? Not yet. I want to look into a little bit more further, but on the surface, it seems pretty solid. Might wait for a little bit more going on past tomorrow in regards to the halving. As you guys know, we should see a big dip. Market could go crash down, go sideways for a good 6 months or so, maybe. And, not necessarily just going in all in on one particular thing. But you know what? I think I will DCA into SUI. And you know what? Maybe pick up some more BYTE while I'm at it. So that concludes the BYTE/SUI coverage of the night. And let's get back into the comments. Okay. Pretty good numbers here tonight. Do appreciate you guys. We are sitting at 80 on YouTube, 237 on X, for a total of 317. Again, smash the like. It does trigger the YouTube algorithm. I'm going to clear out some tabs real quick before we kick it into the next thing, which will be QNT. After that, we will get into some JASMY, some real key things found tonight in regards to JASMY. All right. What I'm going to do is, like I said, clear out those tabs because there's a lot. And recognize you guys in the comments here shortly. All right, I'm just trying to get to my quants marker. All right, I'm at that marker. Cool. All right, let's get to the comments. And let's see what we have. Let me double check the other screen. Is there anything I missed? Did I miss any particular comment? I don't think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. So what we're going to do now is see who was the last comment. It was Praetorian. I already read that one. You had a good laugh. E.T. or E-Tizzle. He says, oh, yeah, from Australia. That's cool. Thanks, man. TDM, welcome back. The Disabled Machine. And thank you for that, Praetorian. Do appreciate it. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Welcome, welcome. All right, Vibra Finance. Give him a follow, guys. You're a legend yourself. Let's share his channel real quick. So Vibra Finance. I should have done this a long time ago. I don't know why I did. I apologize, Vibra. I usually try to recognize people. I think what it was is I was thinking that you were only on X, so I do apologize. I have subbed to you, okay? Guys, he has great deep dives as well. Go ahead and give him a follow. Please do that. Always support people that talk passionately about crypto, but bring you guys actual deep dive content and not fluff. This is Vibra Finance. He can be followed over here on YouTube. And you can see here, he covers quite a few things. He's also on X. Vibra, you can actually drop your X into the comments. I don't have it handy at the moment, but maybe Tim Shea or somebody like that would share it. Or I can actually I got to pull it up. What am I talking about? I'll just do that real quick. Let's pull that up. Vibra Finance. Hold on a second. Vibra Finance. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just share this. He has done some videos. He covers XRP. He covers some memes as well. It's okay. He covers Hex. Some of you guys are still into Hex. Some of you guys like it. Some of you don't. He covers Corium. As you guys know, Corium is built on the XRPL. And so he also has live shows just like myself. Here he is. And yeah, he's got a pretty good community of people who follow him as well. So he can be followed, the guys, on YouTube. Just type in @Vibra Finance. Will take you right to there. On top of that, here is his X. All right, there he is. Nice young man. Okay. Crypto consulting, perma bull, no BS. And he goes, like I said, he covers Hex, Pulse Chain, Sauce from Hedera. I cover that as well. Sologenic. I haven't covered it all the time as I used to, but anyway, Sologenic, HBAR, Velo, SHX, doing a great job with his SHX coverage, Stellar, all of those particular ones. So if those are your things, I know a lot of you guys, those are your things. Give him a follow, man, for real. Always support people in this space. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Thank you so much for being here, man. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for being here. All right. Let's also go further down into the comment. We'll keep that up there for you just in case you are. Okay, cool. Let's go read some more comments. Emil Nasir, JASMY, the best project. Thank you so much, Emil. Corey Bibe, aka JASMY Dr. Scam, he says, good evening, Crypto Millionaires. Thank you for being here, Corey Bibe. All right, let's see if you guys have any questions or anything, but let's welcome Blackwood, who's in the house. And let's read this from Praetorian QT sheet today. Man, how about when it was like $88? Remember, it was just briefly, like half of a day. I don't know if you guys saw that, right? But yeah, even cheap today. Corey Bibe says, Max Investor Place Innovation. Investor sent me a write-up on Doge. How to profit from X, a sub $1 project with 10x potential. Interesting. I'm sure they said just like that too. All right. Let's see what else we got in the comments. Micro Dips is in the house. Stump Rider's in the house. Glad to have you guys here. River in the house. Boom. All right. Boomer F it sooner. Thanks for being here. One and only Boomer F it sooner. Boom. Shout out to your Oklahoma City Thunder, right? It's going to be some interesting playoffs coming up. Tomorrow's the final day of the play-in. That's going to be something I'm looking forward to. Matt, welcome. He says, hello, Max. Rob will be joining the chat soon. I think I saw him already in the chat, so that's awesome. Thank you for being here, Matt. Welcome, Matt. Everybody is friends at least with one Matt in their lifetime, right? I had a best friend when I was younger. His name was Matt. One of those things. Anyway, long story I don't want to share. But all right, let's see here. Let's go further down. Yes, exactly. All right, X marks the spot is in the house. I always like it when X marks the spot is in the house. Thanks for being here, X. We're also going to welcome Elizabeth De La Cruz. She says, hello, hello. Thank you very much. Brittany, you used Vine, so I guess you could appreciate, you probably did like that coverage tonight. Cool. Huh, very cool, Brittany. All right. I never heard of it, to be honest. I didn't use it. I mean, this is all news to me. But I mean, I went down the rabbit hole and I thought, well, if I appreciated it, you guys will appreciate it too. All right, let's read this from Nubian King. He's here. He hopes that this is okay. I'm here. I hope this is the right guy. I hope I am the right guy too. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so all right, let's see here. Yes, Craig Wright is Satoshi. Greetings and salutations. I will have a BSV outline. I might possibly do it tomorrow. I don't know. It just depends. So, Anyway. Marie Villas, welcome. All right, let's see what else we have. Sorry for immature. You're fine. You're more than fine. No worries. Have a good time. This is, sometimes people say I'm a prude. I'm not a prude. I mean, I don't know. I could joke around too. You could ask Mr. Michael Cornwell and Edward Vincent and Brad, talking about, this French fried potatoes. Got to get down and sell myself a container. Anyway, not going to get to that. Anyway. All right. Blackwood says he finds it funny they can bash China for TikTok, but paid parrots like Janet Yellen can take pictures with their president, smiling like they're best friends. Yeah, it's kind of hypocritical, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Praetorian, thank you, man. Appreciate that. All right, let's go further down. Blackwood says all this effort to get more dumb people to do more dumb things. So Dumb and Dumber 3 or 4. How many Dumb and Dumber movies are there? 3? 4? 3. I think there's 3. Anyway. All right. What else we got here? Let's read this from X Marks the Spot. TikTok is one of the reasons a genocide was called in Gaza. It's not about data. Great perspective. All right. Crypto Future. Did someone say WrestleMania? Yeah, WrestleMania for sure. Let's see here. Yes, WrestleMania. All right, let me see where my marker is at. All right, I did see here that there was quite a few more comments, so I'm just going to read a couple more. Chris, Crypto Life, welcome. Glad to have you here. And I think there was a super chat came in, so sorry about the delay about the super chat. It's not on purpose. Do want to welcome Brian Dowie. Thank you so much for being here. We have Order 66, which is Dingy, aka Daniel. He says he hates TikTok. That's funny. I guess I'll read this real quick. Max, I feel as if Silicon Valley was the leader of Web 2. It seems like Japan's trying to get into position, become a leader in Web 3. No, you're not too far off at all. Think about what Kunitake Anno did in regards to that office for JASMY. Literally in Silicon Valley. So I don't think you're too far off. All right, let's see here. Cool Cat Coding. There go the bombs. Welcome to Cool Cat Crypto. Welcome. Stefan Eckel, welcome. Pavel, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm doing good. I was informed earlier that I'm crunked out, fresh and clean, ready to do some research with my Krispy Kreme donut. You love my donut because it's so fresh. So thought I'd wear something a little bit more, I don't know, nice. Instead of a t-shirt all the time, right? Anyway. All right. So I'll read this real quick. Did you check out Donald Trump chart? Pulse chain Vibra was talking about burnt IAP. Hold on. 200 burnt LP pairs. No, I didn't check that out, but thanks for letting us up. Nonetheless. Garcia Lorenzo, welcome. All right. XXI Gaming, hopefully you really appreciate the bike coverage tonight, right? And here is a $2 super chat. Israel just bombed Iran. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, might as well shut off the program. It was a nice run, guys. Just gonna pull the switch right now. No, we'll still talk about all this stuff, but yeah, it sucks. I mean, to see, I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. Can't live in fear, but it's worth attention. Yeah. What's going on right now in regards to the market? Hold on. Maybe a little bit of a reaction. We'll definitely see in the morning. But thank you for the $2 super chat, Mr. Elon Muff. I'm sure you guys are all looking to this right now as we speak. Yep. Julian Cato. Max at it again. Thank you, Julian. Welcome. Andrew Gonzalez. The future is here, and it is stellar. Yeah, we did a lot of stellar covers last week. Thanks. Don't look as sharp as you, but thank you very much. Do appreciate it. All right. You hear that Binance converted its whole SAFU fund to USDC. No, I'll probably have to look more into that as well. you know, some things, kind of even go past me. I try to read up as much as I can about stuff, but could definitely look into it. Yeah, is it just a little bit down, Boomer? I do agree, but I think it could be even more of a reaction or delayed reaction. So, all right, Stefan Eckel. Yeah, thanks, man. I do appreciate it. Lower every time you refresh. Let me see. Let me refresh mine as well. Yeah, you can see what's going on with KuCoin real quick. Hold on a second. KuCoin. Let's refresh it from there real quick. Let's do BTC. Hold on just a moment. See what we can pull up. Oh, yeah, man. It is. You're right about that. All right, let's go ahead and share this real quick. Got to share some doom and gloom. So, yep. Here's a little bit of that. Let's do, that's 15-minute chart, by the way. So, interesting. Doesn't look too good. That don't look good at all, does it? That looks horrible. Man. Anyway. All right. We're going to do now, even though we're looking at some of the doom and gloom. Nice emoji, cool cat. Thank you. What is this? Thanks, Max, for the bike coverage. Yeah, no problem. I mean, it was definitely warranted when I saw all that information, but yeah. Action, reaction, right? Okay. We got to get to the next part, what we got, because want to know something? On Monday, we had some big news in regards to quant. Now, I'm not going to do the typical thing and cover everything that everybody else already covered, but I will elaborate, and I will talk about some things I think is definitely worth pointing out. So I do want to say, or give thanks again. Let me pull this up. This is the quant coverage. Shout out to the one and only Quant Papa. Thank you so much for your collaboration and detailed research, as always. Let's jump into some quant. So let's pull this up. And if anything, I'll try my best to not make this an hour, okay? Like, let me look at the clock. 7:23. Can I really do something when it comes to quant, not make it so much of a deep dive? I don't know. We'll see. No promises, but some big things happen in regards to quant, right? So again, shout out to Quant Papa. You're much appreciated, especially in this community. And here it is. Let's jump into this straight from the Quant Network site. And it says Quant and R3 selected as technology providers for the UK's Regulated Liability Network, aka the RLN. And for some of you guys that don't follow Quant, I want to state this. Everybody has been talking about a unified ledger for the longest time. We point out that the RLN is basically the European way of saying a unified ledger. Okay? I'm not going to harp on that anymore. But, so I got more into this. You will see here, Andrew Carrier came out with this announcement. And yeah, guys, they're proud to announce together with R3, R3 is massive, the Enterprise Distributed Ledger Technology Services firm. They have been selected to produce the technology prototype for the experimentation phase of the UK's RLN, led by UK Finance and supported by EY. Goes into more of the details, but it's a collaboration of several stakeholders within the financial services industry. UK RLN explores the options to make, or I should say, for users to make payments, transact, and settle liabilities in the increasingly digital marketplaces of the future. Who are the participants, guys? Well, you have Barclays, Citi. Remember for a while, people were saying, nah, not Citi. Now you finally get confirmation. Yeah, they've been there for a while. But yeah, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, MasterCard. Of course, it's going to be MasterCard. Remember Gilbert Verdion's background? Was it Vulcan Link a while back? Going further down, familiar names, Santander, Standard Chartered, Visa. What about the whole thing of R3 itself? Yeah, being supported by EY and Linklaters, pronounce that right. technology team of R3, Quant, DXC Technology, and Cojoot. Now I'll get more into that here in a bit about Cojoot. Okay, so what does R3 bring to the table? Well, its ability to deliver complex pioneering project, regulated markets, while providing critical shared ledger capability in its leading tokenization platform, of course, Corda. And we've done more than enough talk about that. As part of a recently launched R3 digital markets product suite, Quant in itself will be enabling programmability, interoperability across different forms. And of course, the whole orchestration of the API layer, all this good stuff, right? There's tons of information here that you can get into. All you got to do, I don't even need to drop it into the comments. Just go to quant.network. You can find out more about it. But this last statement about the RLN initiative is worth pointing out. And that is, it says, bringing the industry together to work towards a shared goal, harnessing the benefits of tokenized finance in a manner that is regulated, orderly, interoperable. Said who? R3's very own Chief Commercial Officer, Kate Karimson. This is this lady here. And like it says, Quant's expertise, or experience, I should say, developing connectivity and smart contracts will prove invaluable to the UK RLN. Come on, guys. Smart contracts with the central banks, and the RLN in itself. And, oh, we don't have scalability. Yeah, you do. Because what? Because M10 combines with the RLN when it comes to being able to do 1 million TPS. And we already done more than enough outlines about that. At least 2, maybe 3, right? I want to jump into this next part about why this is all worth pointing out. Multiple outlets are talking about this. And you will see this here. Let's pull this up as well. This is from UK Finance, ukfinance.org, basically. So it goes on to mention some of these things about the experimentation phase. The UK RLN experimentation phase will focus on these UK use cases. Look at this, guys. This is, in my opinion, this is a big deal. I'm going to zoom in more about this. All right. So nice and big for you to see. And why point some of these things out? Well, payment upon delivery for physical product aimed at reducing fraud in online marketplaces. Talk about the internet of trust, also the internet of value. Boom, right there. What about processing buying a home, improving customer transparency, mitigating the whole thing of fraud? What about digital bond settlement? Connect digital customer money to digital assets. These use cases will examine how the UK RLN can facilitate different forms of money, including existing and tokenized deposits. Experimentation phase will run until summer 2024 and will cover the following areas. Customer and business benefits. They're going to explore the whole thing of aligning their capabilities with, of course, the BIS and Project Rosalind. They're also aiming to have a proof of concept with this sandbox. Remember we talked about the RLN sandbox? To gauge the functional and non-functional requirements of UK RLN's design, including simulated connections and transactions. Again, these are tests. So many people keep pointing out nonsense when it comes to quant, saying the price doesn't move and so on. Again, we've gone from the phase of having things built now to go into the phase of having what? Things actually being tested. Then we go to having things actually in motion, utility in motion. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was quant. But people want to see, everybody wants to become a millionaire overnight, and I get that. So we zoom in a little bit more. You will see some other things about the legal framework. They had an analysis on how existing, and look at this part, potential future laws and regulations apply to the operation of a shared ledger settlement system, including tokenized deposits. How many times did you hear Go Reverdian talk about that? All right, there'll be results of that experimentation phase, be published in the summer. That's going to be interesting. You better believe people like Tokenizer are going to be all over that like a fat kid on cake, or like Augustine Karsten's on cake. Anyway, UK Finance will host a number of engagements and events to provide all stakeholders, including innovators, technology companies, and even fintechs, with the opportunity to explore how they can engage with the project. And back to Jana McIntosh, right? She stated that she's of course excited about it because of the whole thing of the design for digital money. But look at this. They're hoping to equip the UK with world-leading financial infrastructure. World-leading financial infrastructure. Again, this is crazy. Their work is designed to inform the best way forward for all forms of regulated digital money. So when we talk about regulations in the future, I think there's your answer. How about this other particular one? This comes from Lee Brain, Managing Director, Advanced Technologies, Chief Technology Officer over at Barclays. It is great to see financial services industry collaborating to push the envelope of payments innovation. They hope to see the experiments, how it's going to go from functionality and then also mitigate risks, especially when it comes to even retail payment markets. Right? Lots of great things here. RLN, 24/7 multi-asset programmable settlement venues, global payments from HSBC states that even HSBC committed to exploring more efficient and secure payment alternatives. So many examples. I mean, you could go for this, like there's just a grocery list of institutions behind this. That's one of your key takeaways. Jumping over to Quant Network, take a look at this for a second. Interesting to see some of this. How long ago was this posted? Well, on the 15th. Just again, a little bit more to pound at home. Big announcement, right? So they're talking about this whole thing of the RLN and obviously R3 selected as technology providers for the RLN, at least the UK's RLN. And then when you go into it, here's some of the notes from Quant Papa. Look what it says. Talk about all the ones we just talked about, but this one is the one that you really need to pay attention to. It's called Kahoot. What the heck is that all about? Well, they have a mention, honorable mention, in this brochure. And this, of course, from the BIS Hub, right? Simplifying transactions through innovation, Bank of England, Project Meridian. Okay. Yeah, we talked about Ahura as well. Well, as I got into this, you will see some key things here being mentioned. And we decided to chop it up and just give you the highlight. So here it is. Full screen for the most part. Project Meridian was a highly, collaborative effort between the Bank of England, HM Land Registry, the project's vendor, Kahoot, if I pronounce that right, and the BIS Innovation Hub for London Center. Central banks can use the findings from the project to inform considerations on whether to implement synchronization into their real-time gross settlement systems. As they do, this further exploration of the potential for synchronization to drive innovation in wholesale payments and support the emergence of new payments infrastructures is needed in collaborations with participants in a range of asset markets. And who is also part of all those asset markets? Well, of course, big players like your BlackRocks and so on. But that quote, central banks can use the findings from project to inform considerations on whether to implement a synchronization in their RTGS systems. Man, you have quant behind all this? Man. What about this? This is some notes from the one and only Quant Papa. Take a look at this for a second. Do we have participants? Of course we have participants. In this appendix, you see project participants and acknowledgements. A whole slew of all these guys, right? Lots from the BIS, obviously. Lots from Bank of England. But who is this John Reynolds from Kahoot? Or, yeah, if I pronounce it right, Kahoot. And what about some of these other people? Harjo Brar. All these ones about Kahoot. Huh. Want to know about that, right? Well, as we get into it, you will see specifically that there's some key things that need to be kind of brought up. Okay, so back in the PDF from the BIS Hub about Project Meridian, which is simplifying transactions through innovation, Kahoot has this citation. When was it? Well, back in 2022. And it's basically where they talk about a time to improve property transaction process. Remember how we talk about real world assets? Well, those real world assets have to have what, guys? Have to have the whole concept of an improvement of that transaction process. No kidding, right? When you think about like how long things go through escrow itself and how long that takes. Remember how we talk about medical records, how long that takes. Again, blockchain solves so many things, DLT and so on. How do we take this to the next level? Well, we're going to get into this for a brief moment, and you're going to see some key things in regards to this whole thing about Kojut. Okay, so Quant Papa decided, to obviously bring this to us, and as we pull this up, here's another note. You see this from this guy who is quantifidential. I guess you could say. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Quantifidential. There we go. He says Kojut raised 10 million pounds, known from Project Meridian at the BIS with Bank of England, utilizing R3's core to blockchain framework. This was posted on April 5th before the big news was dropped in regards to R3. Lloyd's Banking Group, nationwide, 3 big banks, right? Alongside, invested into what? Maybe Q&T. How do we know that? Well, here it is, straight from the horse's mouth, Mr. Gilbert Verdian. Verdian mentions that he was delighted to mention all these things about Quant Network being selected to the side alongside R3 as a technology provider for UK's regulated liability network, led by who? Of course, UK Finance. And even supported by who? The EY News. Who's EY News? Building a better working world, creating long-term value by providing trust through assurance and helping organizations grow. 370,000 followers, my God. The UK RLN is basically as common of a platform for innovation across multiple forms of money, says Gilbert Verdian, including existing commercial banks, those deposits, a shared ledger for tokenized commercial bank deposits. Working with commercial banks and payment networks, RLN will explore the interoperability of all forms of money, not just some forms of money, all the money. Test new payment flows for users to make payments, transact and settle liabilities, tokenized, non-tokenized commercial bank money fit for the increasingly digital marketplaces of the future. And here's a great statement. Gilbert Verdian mentions that Quant's involvement is focused on enabling programmability, interoperability across different forms of money by delivering what? Orchestration and API layer to the project with its over ledger platform. I mean, it's kind of funny the terminology that's used here. When we talk about real-time gross settlements, it's like I'm looking at literally like an orchestra. You have Augustine Karstens, sitting, I guess you could say, in the with the mix, and you have Gilbert Verdian literally orchestrating how it all comes together. I mean, big news in regards to this. So Gilbert Verdian mentions he looks forward to seeing how this transformative initiative will help progress the UK's financial infrastructure. And there's more about the whole thing of the RLM that I literally just shared with you. All right. I want to take you to this. This is another thing that needs to be mentioned, and Quant Papa got into this. So remember Luke Riley? Remember how we talked about recently? If you want to find anything about Quant, you literally need to go to, some of these things like LinkedIn. He says 3 days ago that Quant is now firmly and publicly established as the leading infrastructure provider for different and significantly innovative components required for the future of finance. You have the citation of, obviously, CBDCs and also the RLN. He says it's only the beginning, but there's a reference to the whole thing of the BIS and Project Rosalind's report. But he even has this thing about the UK's RLN. And I think it's worth pointing out because you're going to see the highlight right here. And I think this was actually taken from his phone. So if you don't know who Luke Riley is, he is the head of innovation of or at the Quant Network. And he goes on to mention in the screenshot some of these things, right? Like it says, only the beginning. Blockchain is better with Overledger, right? But is there more about this? Of course. What about Augustine Carstens? Did he mention anything about this? He did. Talks about this thing that we might need to refer to, which is crazy. And it's called the Finternet. No, it's not called the F Internet. All right? F it. We're doing it live. No Bill O'Reilly on this one. But if you guys want to call it the F Internet, that's fine too. So Finternet is a vision for financial systems with multiple interconnected financial ecosystems, much like the internet. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind this. When you see these terms, understand even dates back to the whole thing of the IETF and Gilbert Verdin, part of some of these things that were the pioneers of the internet engineering task force, and so on. The Finternet, the internet. We got our own internet. Well, check this out. So, in a new working paper, Augustine Carstens and Nadan Nilkani, if I'm pronouncing that right, argue that the Internet would empower individuals and businesses by placing them at the center of their financial lives. So maybe it is an F Internet. Like F the whole Web 2 Internet. We have our Internet called the Finternet. So F it all, right? Anyway, unified ledgers are a promising vehicle to turn this vision into reality. Unified ledgers would not only improve existing financial transactions, but make it entirely new financial products, and transactions possible. Now, of course, there's a paper about this, but it's going to be presented at an event at Peterson Institute for International Economics. When? Guys, that's literally tomorrow. And it's going to feature presentations from the authors and a panel with the governor of Banco Central de Brazil. Shout out to Praetorian. You might want to look into that, my friend, if you're still paying attention. Roberto Campos Neto, president of the Deutsche Bundesbank, and Joachim Nagel, if I pronounce that right, governor of the Bank of Korea. Shenyong Ri, moderated by Adam Posen. So what is the F Internet? F it. What is it? Forget the freaking Web 2. F this whole thing, right? We're going to Web 3, baby. Let's freaking go. F the current internet. Let's go to this new internet. Web 3, Finternet. F it. Let's play this. Let's find out what this is all about. Smash the like or say, F it. You don't want to smash the like. Let's get into it. Here we go. What the heck is Max talking about? Why do you keep talking about an F Internet? Let's find out. All right, here we go. And it's a slide, so bear with me. All right. So what is it? It's an F Internet is a vision for a future financial system with multiple interconnected financial ecosystems, much like the internet. It combines innovative technology developments like tokenization, unified ledgers, robust economic and regulatory structure, and it will help financial systems meet people and businesses' higher economic aspirations. More advanced technology will make financial services cheaper, faster, and more reliable. Okay, I mean, these are all things that we basically want, right? Existing financial services will be improved and entirely new financial activities will become possible. And finally, if you're curious, you can find out more, right? That's basically what's trying to make us alluded to, okay? So one thing I want to share with you guys now is understanding the bigger picture of all this. I'm going to take a moment to take a pause. Here's actually my video in connection with this. But yeah, it's chopped up. Quant Papa has it for us. Let's go ahead and take off the branding for this segment. And let's just jump into it. So listen to this. I think this is definitely worth pointing out, to say the least. And I can appreciate that he took the time to chop it up. So basically speaking, yeah, here we go. This is QNT outline. This is an old, familiar, deep outline. I think these guys got together, Gilbert Verdin and this other gentleman. He's another influencer. but a lot of things were chopped up from it. But this particular one, maybe you haven't seen this, but listen to it. It's good in connection to everything we talked about tonight. Listen to this for a second. It's a minute and 41 seconds. Thank you to Quant Papa again for chopping this up. Here we go.
So partners are the traditional corporate partners that we work with. And these are the technology companies that take our products, implement it for their customers, and are able to then go and, develop new technology, new innovation at a bigger scale as well. So we've been, I can name some names. We've been talking to Fujitsu. We've been talking to DXC, which is a big, IBM type of outsourcer. We've been talking to Samsung, Accenture, PwC. So we're out there talking to these big system integrators, these big, global companies that
and are they talking back?
Of course, yeah. No, yeah. It's not one way.
Tell us about that, though. How much are they talking back, and how is it looking? How are these conversations building out into real contractual, agreements and partnerships?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're ironing out now, because we had to build the tech to demonstrate what it can do, and it's built. So now those guys, our partners that we're looking to partner with, like our approach, and they want to test it for themselves, and then they'll take it to their customers, because their customers are demanding it, right? Their customers are saying, look, we love blockchain, it solves this problem, but we don't want to be limited to this one technology. We don't want to be limited to this one vendor. We want to have some choice. So these system integrators, outsourcers, they would go and take Overledger to them and say, well, this solves that problem for you. We'll implement it and we'll manage it for you as a service as well. Right. So we're at the stage where we're doing those discussions to get to those agreements and, working out the models. So, yeah.
So working on those models. So, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Working on those models, testing this stuff, going from the point of laying down the framework to testing it all, right? Not the whole thing of, well, I saw the great big news of Gilbert Verdin and this R3, this Corda, and I don't know what the heck's going on, but my quant bays aren't pumping to the moon. I think I ought to just sell it all and go buy me some dog crap Enu. That makes a lot more sense right now than trying to buy some of this. Well, ye doggy all the way for you, my friend, because if that's what you're going to do, that's what you can do. At the end of the day, I just provide you guys some information. But at the same time, we also need to recognize that why would the big wigs go all in on something like quantum technology and so on, right? I mean, just want to throw that out there. Is it retail perspective versus institutional perspective? I think so. Jumping into the next part of what we have, check out this as well. This is good stuff. You will see this. Here we go.
Financial institutions, bank and non-bank participating. The names that you see on the screen are only the initial members. We've now been joined by about a dozen other financial institutions who are very interested in this model. What's the so what of this type of network? Well, any payment system that I've seen in my 30 years has been a messaging system, meaning there's no money in Visa or MasterCard or SWIFT or an instant payment scheme. The money is on the edges. The money is in the different institutions where they write their liabilities. The regulated liability network is different because the money is in the network. And that's, if you think about it, that's one of the core innovations of Bitcoin. The money is in the network. And when you have the money in the network, and that network is running 24/7, and that network has a programmability layer sitting on top through smart contracts, then the possibilities of moving around that money, using it for 24/7 settlement become very interesting, especially if we do two things, especially if we have multiple central bank partitions on the same network. And that's exactly what we want to achieve. So not just an MES partition, but an ECB partition, a Bank of England partition, a Fed partition. And then what you get is something very interesting. You get real central bank money from multiple central banks on the same DLT available for settlement, you essentially get a global RTGS system. And that's something that we've never had before. And the second thing is that, one of the intriguing aspects of DLT, if you think about it, it's less siloed than the traditional financial system. So Ethereum, for example, in Ethereum, you've got ETH, you've got stable coins, you've got CryptoKitties, you've got NFTs. It's less siloed than our system because in a DLT, you can represent any arbitrary asset. And so we're also very intrigued by the notion of not only having regulated liabilities on this network, but also regulated assets on this network. And that moves towards this concept that we call the regulated Internet of Value. So I'll stop there and just leave you with this message, which is it's really important that the future of money is based upon the sovereign's right to decide what money is. All regulated institutions get their licenses from the nation state. The sovereign right to decide what money is comes from the social contract. It's one of the monopolies that we give to the nation state. It's extremely important that nation states hang on to that lever of national power. And so it's also beholden on the regulated sector, and I mean central banks and commercial banks and e-money institutions. In the future, stablecoins can be part of the same network. As soon as they're regulated as liabilities, they can join this network. It's extremely important that the regulated sector moves forward in a non-fragmented way. Otherwise, we may lose the arms race with shadow banking powered by DLT. So as we think about the design of digital euro, why not have a true public-private partnership? Why not have a digital euro, which is a network that encompasses central bank liabilities and commercial bank liabilities and e-money liabilities on the same chain? And I would just point out that what we're discussing here is not a million miles away from how Target works, because each of the national central banks project their liabilities onto a shared ledger in the Target system. And therefore, why can't we just take that conception and extend it one or two steps further? So let's take the liabilities of the regulated sector, which currently exist in account-based form within institutions, and project them into a shared infrastructure, which might lead towards the next generation of financial market infrastructures. And with that, I will stop sharing and open it up for questions.
Okay, so you're probably wondering maybe who that is. That was Tony McLaughlin, and I've done a few deep dives with Quant Papa in regards to him. He basically is part of a thing called the merging payments and business development over at Accord City. To hear him comment on that, among many others from the past, well, you have an idea of why this is such a big deal. Getting more into the outline for a moment, I'll take you to this next particular part that I feel as though is definitely worth pointing out, to say the least. And basically speaking, it is this right here, straight from the BIS. Let's go ahead and share this. Now we're just talking about Finternet or F the internet, right? This is straight from the BIS. Look at this. You have this, and man, talks about the whole thing, highlighted from the BIS. The Finternet is a vision for the future financial system with multiple interconnected financial ecosystem, much like the internet. It's a new working paper. Augustin Carstens, Nadan Nalekani argue that the Finternet would empower individuals and businesses by placing them at the center of their financial lives. And look at this. Unified ledgers. Wow. promising a vehicle to turn this vision to reality. Unified ledgers would not only improve existing financial transactions, but also make entirely new financial products and transactions possible. They have a paper that describes all the necessary economic, technical, logical barriers, regulatory, legal building, all that stuff. We talked about that. But at the very bottom, look what it says. Paper will be presented, like I said, tomorrow at the Peterson Institute for International Economics. And you have featured people that are going to be there from Banco Central de Brazil. I'm not pronouncing that right, probably. And then, of course, at the very bottom, look what it says. Finternet, unified ledger, boom, future of finance. Your future of finance. This whole concept, guys, come on. Can we get credit where credit's due? This whole concept that it's only XRP and that's it. That is not true. That is not a bash on XRP. I love XRP. This is why I'm well diversified. You ever notice I consistently mention that QNT, XRP are tied for number one for me? I understand, it's a difference of opinion. But this whole thing that the only unified ledger is on the XRPL, give me a break. It's not the case. It's not the case at all. There's your perfect example. Again, jumping back into it, let's full screen this again. You will see this unified ledger. Everybody was talking about unified ledger. Future of finance, Finternet. Do we actually have a name? So the RON and Finternet. Huh. All right, a little bit more about Finternet. High-level architect of the Finternet. Well, it's just such a weird name. Anyway, F-Internet, Finternet, whatever you want to call it. As you can see here on this diagram, some big things to mention. Just kind of navigating my screen. Sorry about that. So you have this example that mentions these applications, e-banking, digital wallets, and so on. You can see the whole thing even with Stellar, right? On and off ramps. But it's all there. What about non-financial apps? It's still all there. Shared private ledger, shared all the way to the central banks, asset management companies. Gee, I don't know. Maybe you're BlackRock's private or public companies, real estate registrars. I know I'm zooming in a little bit more for you guys to see it better. So token managers, issuance, management, synchronization, tokenized real estate, boom, on the unified ledger. How does that go all together? It's like an ecosystem. This is real world asset ecosystem. Literally right before your eyes, real world asset ecosystem. Trust and value services, the providers, digital infrastructure, the signatures, laws, regulations, but again, coming up with a better plan than the old traditional model of how slow that moved. I mean, my goodness, like I'm sure some of you guys, you get that mail, right? I don't know if it's exclusive to here in Arizona, but imagine maybe over where you're at. So there's a company, it's called 72hourrealestate.com or 72hoursold.com, something like that. Forget 72 hours. I mean, don't get me wrong, 72 hours does seem like a big deal. What about having something like instantaneous because it's, verified and mutable on blockchain? You get where I'm going with this. It's not just medical data we're talking about. It's all of these things mentioned, literally an ecosystem, all coming together. Take a look at this for a second. This is actually from the BIS, and then this one I will drop into the comments for you guys. Check it out for yourself too if you're following at home. So you have this publication here, straight from the BIS, or you can go to bis.org/publ/work1178.htm. So go ahead and full screen this. You will see here some things that need to be mentioned. Finternet Financial System for the Future, April 15th, Augustine Karsten's working paper. And it's the focus. And it's about how they realize that many transactions, just like I was mentioned, still take days to complete and rely on time-consuming clearing, messaging, and settlement systems on physical paper trails. Improving the functionality of all this requires like a financial system, and it's important that public policy, comes together, I guess you could say. But building a financial system fit for the future requires a vision for what they want to achieve. This already came together. The next stage, like I said, is simply testing this out. So from the BIS, I imagine this is Augustine Karsten's literally saying this. He says, the concept of Finternet, F-Internet, is a vision for the future financial system. Multiple financial ecosystems interconnected with each other, much like the internet. Finternet would be designed to empower individuals, businesses, by placing them at the center of the financial lives. Unified ledgers are a promising vehicle to turn this vision to reality, grounded on digital first approach, leveraging tokenization. Unified ledgers would improve existing financial transactions. What findings we have? Well, it goes on to mention that you have the governance framework, but unified ledgers are promising to produce a vehicle to deliver all three of, for example, architecture, financial architecture, cutting edge digital technology, and of course that robust legal governance framework. There's an abstract about all this, and boom, I should say. Yeah, I was right. Augustin Carstens. He's the one who wrote this, you know? And look at the keywords: payment systems, financial intermediaries, which obviously would be your quant overledger, and financial instruments. Unified ledgers, tokenization. Again, all the stuff that we've been covering for, oh my God, over 2 years. I think it's a big deal. All right. There's a tad bit more in regards to this before we kick it into the next particular thing. I want to share this with you. Goes on to mention, from Finternet, the financial system for the future. You have interoperability, the capacity of these digital systems, how they work with technological frameworks. You know how Gilbert Verdian is always talking about immutability. He says the characteristic of a system that prevents alteration, deletion, ensuring permanent, tamper-proof record keeping. I mean, guys, we can solve fraud. Think about that in itself, instead of this would even help, I should say solve fraud, help dramatically reduce that and catch the bad actors instantly. That in itself helps law enforcement. Look at this: network of networks, a set of networks where each of these is dedicated to distinct domains, equipped with a unique technological infrastructures, governance protocols, ecosystems. I want to talk about this because we were talking a lot about a unified ledger. So they have a digital platform that brings this all together: financial assets such as executable ones, and a common programmable platform. A little bit more about the unified interledger protocol, because again, people from XRP are going to say, "Yep, this is all us." There's a set of open protocols that defines the messaging specifications with different unified ledgers to ensure interoperability and finality of transactions between them. Right. We can always settle, guys, with XRP. The key thing is having the protocols unified to work together. That's the bottom line. I understand people want settlement, but you have to have the messaging models, and you have to have things in place to make it all come together. Here's a whole basket of a grocery list of how it all comes together. All right. Let's jump into, I believe, the last bit of things. I said I would turn into an hour, but man, it's quant. It's hard to not basically do that. All right. Let's take you over to here. This is from the Bank of International Settlements. This was posted just about, good Lord, 3 days ago. Look what it says. Back to what I was talking about. The Finternet is a vision of financial or future financial system, multiple interconnected financial ecosystems, much like the internet. Yeah, everything talking to each other. It's literally the financial system, the unified ledger, the Web3 unified ledger. And of course, you got people pulling out this, and that's fine. Okay. All right. Let's take this for a second. This is a big deal. This guy, who is Nadan Nolakani, remember I was talking about him? He made the front page of Business Today back in May 14th of 2023. Why point him out? Well, co-founder, chairman of Infosys. He got a Lifetime Achievement Award. And this guy's involved with something like Quant and the BIS and all that? Yeah, he is. Look at this for a second. You're going to see something very interesting. A vision of the future financial system. What is shared here? You see that he's literally in the middle, second from the top right. Talks about the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Isn't this thing coming up tomorrow? Yeah, it is. Look at this. Exploration of upcoming report, Finternet, Financial System for the Future, Bank International Settlements. General Manager Augustin Carstens, co-founder and chairman of Infosys. I didn't realize that Carstens was also part of that. So that makes sense now. Founding chairman, UIDAI, Nadan, the guy you saw in the picture. A panel will follow. Again, all the ones I talked about. Even Bank of Korea is going to be there. And look what it says. They're going to explain how the application of novel technological innovations could generate change in the financial system, delivering financial services that are cheaper, faster, and more personalized, more secure. And this goes down literally tomorrow. Interesting. All right, here's another particular one. Dina White from Standard Chartered. She's part of that general council. And she says that, look at this, AF Internet, Finternet, UK experimentation, new paper from the BIS, talking about that vision. What they aim to do, greater participation, personalized services, improve speed and reliability, reduce costs. Again, everything that we just talked about. Principles, interoperability. I mean, it's all there. And last but not least, this. Interoperability, BIS Innovation Hub projects focused on connecting what? Existing systems and new ones such as central bank digital currencies across borders. Project Nexus created a blueprint to connect domestic fast payment systems. Project Jura, Dunbar, I covered all these. Enbridge, yep, that one too. Mariana explored how to connect wholesale CBDCs to a common platform. And Project Icebreaker, remember I covered that as well, looked at retail CBDCs using a hub and spoke model. So that was a lot to get into, but you have an idea, more than an idea, how it all comes together. And obviously, somebody like Tokenizer, some other people from our community, Mind Crypto, great content creator, by the way. Shout out to Mind. Even guys like Channing Harrell and so on, Quant Papa, I'm sure we'll be talking about and so on. So look more into it if you choose to do so. And I think we'll follow it. Probably get chopped up within the next few days. Who knows? So that concludes the Quant Network coverage of the day. We're going to get back to the comments for just a brief bit. Then after that will be the final coverage of the night, which will be JASMY. And there's something really interesting to get into in regards to JASMY. Let me close out some tabs real quick. And yeah, let's get into this. All right. Do appreciate everybody that's still here tonight. We're now at the 2 hour and 8 minute mark. 56 people on YouTube, 375 from X, 431. You guys rock. Thank you very much. All right, let's read the next comments. It is going to be from who? Who is up in the comments? We have, I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see what we have. All right. You guys are having a conversation. All right, let's read this from David Schickman. The war has just began in Iran. Market is dumping. Yep. I guess it's Iran's turn again. Iran just said that they're going full force back at Israel. This is at 7:35. You posted that? Okay, so I'm a little bit behind on all this. Iran had just getting to get ugly. Yeah. All right, Digital G, what's up? Happy Thursday. Extra PQNT, BSV, SHX, and Vila. Thank you for that. I know you just came over on YouTube because you guys wondering who Digital G is. It's GG on YouTube. Same guy. Welcome, GG. It sounds better on YouTube. Sometimes people say it sounds better on X. That's interesting. All right, Luke Juris, welcome. He says, JASMY, buy on this dip, y'all. If you haven't hit your goals and so on. I hit my goals, but, I wouldn't mind getting more, but Also want to get some other things as well. All right, so let's see here. River, thank you for being here. Max, what is that? You just farted on me? The heck is that about? All right. Epic results. Hey Max, thanks for doing a show, brother. Just FYI, I'm not sure you already covered it because it jumped in. Iran was just attacked by Israel. Not sure if this was the cause for the dip. It ain't helping anything, I'll tell you that much, right? I'll have to catch up on some of that stuff a little bit later. All right. Iran hasn't been hit, says Cool Cat. 656. How long ago was that? Not that long ago. Watching it live on a feed. Iran has the Russians' S-400 missile defense. They have shot down all the missiles. Yes, that's. Thank you for that, Mr. River. That's good stuff. All right. S-400 super advanced. Most likely the Russians are helping them. All right. Thank you very much. This little F internet diagram. Why the 2 boxes with 3 dots? Something to be added later. It's just a screenshot that was taken, basically. I wouldn't read into it too much, but it's just Quant Papa taking a quick screenshot. You know what I mean? Trying to help me out with the outline. That way I don't have to read like 4 hours worth of material. But I'm glad you did pay attention. Nice catch, Dennis Lil. Thank you, man. All right. Cool Cat Coding says, Inquiz X is a channel that has the live Middle East feed if anybody wants to see it. So I remember that. There's a few that I do watch on YouTube as well. So Augustine, yeah, I know. We shouldn't make too much fun of them because I'm just as guilty, right? Anyway. Vralia's Nera. What do you think of Shiba Inu? I think it's great. I think it's going to do some big things again. I have a little over 1 billion of those. 1 billion, 11 million is where I'm at. So, yeah, I'm big on SHIB. All right. Jasmy, big on that too. All right. GG, Max, tonight was a fantastic show. Keep it up, brother. Got to run. Good night. No problem, man. You take it easy yourself, Mr. GG. I'm going to kick it into the last bit of coverage that we have. Thank you for everybody who's been patient tonight as we get to the Jasmy coverage. Gold is the best bet now, says SPL. Welcome back, SPL. Are you excited? Are you already excited for the MLB season? Did you go to spring training? Did you go to actual Padres game? Let me know. Oh, nice. That is a nice holding. All right, so we're going to use that as a bookmark. And let's get into the Jasmy coverage, finally. Why didn't he just do that first? Well, there were some other things that were worth pointing out today. Okay, so basically, we are now going to get into the Jasmy coverage of the night. Smash that like. Let's double check how we're doing on likes real quick. And we are at, you might think it's silly, but it does help with the algorithm and not costing you anything other than listening. We're at 100 likes, 56 people watching on YouTube. And yes, 377 from X. Total 433. Not bad numbers. Consider all the doom and gloom in the world, right, guys? Right. Okay, so I'm going to jump into this first. Okay, I want to talk about something. First, I want to give a shout out to the one and only MS from the emails. Man, you've been killing it with helping me out with the coverage. I so welcome that. God bless you, brother, for helping me out. Anybody else that wants to help me out with stuff like this, it is more than appreciated. It helps take off the heavy workload, right? So, yeah, MS, you got to come over to YouTube at some point, or X. We love to have you over on the live comments, but we get it. Everybody's busy. And I do appreciate you from the emails. With that said, let's start off the outline. NTT Jasmy. What the heck is this all about? You got to listen to this. This is good stuff. It's going to be a solid outline. Smash that like. I'm telling you flat out, you're going to enjoy the coverage tonight when it comes to Jasmy, Janction, the whole shebang. So let's pull this up. This is old, but it's going to make sense because you got to start off with a good outline, right? This right here, you recognize this gentleman. And this is Hidehiko Kakanuma. He's the board director in charge of product service planning, corporate planning, and marketing. Says after joining Sumitomo Bank, currently Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation. He was transferred to GR HomeNet Corporation, currently NTT Plala Inc., where he was engaged in the launch of the ISP business, right? Internet Service Provider business, for those of you guys out there wondering about some of this stuff. He, of course, joined JASMY back in 2022. He's got a lot of background, obviously, Sony style, Sony marketing, Sony life insurance, right? So, you see him in the pictures. A lot of times he doesn't get the honorable mention. We'll get the honorable mentions tonight. Let's jump into this for a second, because you're going to want to pay attention to this as well. And yeah, it's a blast in the past, but I want to also point this out. Shout out to Lil Bidman also in regards to the research. Let's pull this up. So Lil Bidman pointed out 2 years ago the NTT Communications website was selling the JASMY Secure PC. And, it shows some things, right? So we're going to take you to that as well. Just in case you feel as though NTT never did anything, we'll share the past and even the present. Look at this for a second. You will see here that they had a notice regarding the change of NTT X Store name. And back then, JASMY Secure PC Agent Pro JS01M0P01 has a price and all this stuff. And again, back then it was out of stock. But the point was, it was listed, right? It had product features, all this stuff, right? JASMY Secure PC. Where am I going with this? Well, where I'm going to go with this is some interesting things, to say the least, because we're going to now take you to from a blast from the past to the near future. Here we go. Let's go ahead and translate this from Japanese to English. And what you will see here is very, very interesting. At least I think so. So regarding price revision of smart data platform cloud server, when? July 2024. What the heck is this all about? Well, for those that are nerding it out, you're going to see here a link I'm going to drop into the comments. And boom, there you go. And basically speaking, it is from ntt.com/about-us. Tacoma Business, NTT Communications, but NTT Communications Corporation, herein referred to as NTT Com, had revised the fees for some of the license and resale menus of Smart Data Platform Cloud Server, hereinafter referred to as SDPF Cloud Server, starting from July 2024. And it says NTT Com will continue to work further to improve their services to customers. What about target services? Look at this for a second. The following is from the SDPF Cloud Server. And you have, for example, vSphere. You have Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a server for Windows Server for Hyper-V on Windows Server. Virtual servers, physical servers, all this stuff. Middleware, this reference, Oracle, all these things, right? But as you get further down into some of this stuff, you will see here that they have these revisions and how it's basically going to be applied from July 1st of 2024, and how they're going to revise the rates automatically to be applied to customers who are already using the service. So I thought I would point out some of this stuff because, again, you got to keep in mind, these sites that would sell the actual product, right? As we get more into this, this is straight from global.ntt. And it talks about the key to sustainable growth from space. I know it sounds nuts. I'll also drop this into the comments. And it goes on to mention innovation for a sustainable future. Some of this talk seems kind of nuts, and I understand that. Not everybody's on board with some of the things that are basically presented. But what you'll see here is definitely worth noting, definitely worth getting into. So, innovation for sustainable future. From space, using IO to break through the limits of spatialization. They talk about their technology, how it focuses on speed, volume, information processing, and how they approach the whole thing of, the strain of the planet. But remember how we talked about JASMY when it comes to the whole thing about decarbonization and so on? Well, Ion Tech will extend into space as NTT seeks to create an independent, decarbonized, and self-sustainable infrastructure course in space. And this infrastructure in itself, being able to build on optical wireless communication and be able to connect to the ground through optical technology, say what you want, very interesting to get into why or how this all comes together, for example, with JASMY. But they have the capability to allow development of the beyond 5G/6G mobile network, where high altitude parameter stations, which are referred to as HAPS, could cover the terrestrial communication bands throughout Japan and even the stratosphere of like low Earth orbits. Guys, I don't know if you how long you guys have been around watching. There's a lot of newcomers, but myself and Mental Agar talked about a lot about this for a few different deep dives. This is again an update, if you will, in regards to this, especially coming into summer 2024. Yeah, it's going to get better. Look at this for a second. This is going to enable real-time observation of Earth, and talks about, space-based sustainable data centers. You don't think these data centers are going to obviously be inputting in tons of data? Look at this for a second. The project is focused on enabling real-time transmission, imagery data from space. Remember how we talked about those CMOS image sensors and stuff like that? Remember how we talked about Tadashi Morita with his exclusive patents that basically acquire that technology? Who's Tadashi Morita if you're new? He's part of JASMY. This could, in principle, be achieved by sending more observation satellites into space. However, there are numerous satellites who are attempting to transmit data. Problems will arise with increased lag time. Currently, observation satellites take 90 minutes to circle the globe, so data transmission of images can take days or even weeks to reach Earth. As a result, many images are discarded without being used. With geostationary satellite images, they can be transmitted to the base stations on Earth, instantly making it possible to better predict and track the course of advanced extreme weather events. Then it goes on to mention how NTT comes into it. But before we get to that part, the key thing is understanding how they analyze the data and how fast they're going to do that compared to today's means, right? So NTT states that they can reduce the exchange of large volumes of data between Earth and space by speeding up the process transfer times. NTT satellites and a new space on an Earth sensing platform. Look at this for a second. Are we now reading into some things? This new sensing platform will allow them to use low orbit satellite technology to collect data from IoT terminals. Aha. Yeah, that's right. We talk about utility in motion. There's some examples. So these terminals, where are they? They're positioned around Earth. Has that not caught your attention? Yeah, I can appreciate people that take the time to send me this stuff. Let's jump more into this for a second. MSU rock. Okay, just want to state that. So this is going to allow the collection of this information. Environmental, by the way. Data from farms, offshore wind terminals, autonomous vehicles to learn, predict, and even prevent some of the things that, need to be prevented. Now, when we get into this part about ION, they combine low power photonics, electronics, and convergence technology with a computing platform that can immediately analyze data. They have observation satellites that are the main satellites that generate data. Optical data relays aim to transmit the data and generate those by these satellites to the ground in real time. Cloud servers that carry out computing process will be placed next to the networks on the ground. The same concept will be applied in space by installing computing functions next to the data relay. Combining these two functions creates a data center. How about this for a second? How about creating a data ecosystem? Because if you're having it, all these IoT devices And then you're having that data literally go right to a cloud solution. I know we're thinking of the cloud literally up in the sky, but in reality, cloud as in these servers at these data centers collecting them all. And you have something that needs to collect all the data. I don't know, maybe a personal data locker. Don't overthink it. But you love how it all comes into full circle through the actual ecosystem. So I think that's valid. As I jump more into this from what was presented from MS and also, Little Bidman and so on, you will see that their concept of being able to make this possible from space does seem like it is possible. How? Because they have new optical technology that makes data communications faster, reduces electricity consumption, and like it says, up to 1/100th of today's volumes. Now, I don't have the citation today because hopefully some people pay attention to this stuff. And if you're brand new, you can always watch the older videos. But again, Tadashi Morita. When we talk about, like standards, it mentioned with Tadashi Morita that he's an expert when it comes to low voltage, like data sets and so on. We talk about DC microgrids, but on the LV, as in low voltage, you understand how it all comes together. I think you might have a little bit of an idea. But look at this. Again, straight from global.ntt.com. And that is to reduce the carbon loads harnessing solar power for the electricity used for data processing. Back to the whole thing of 5G, they want to have no service interruptions. Even when it comes to natural disasters, I mean, think about Japan, for instance. I mean, what they had to deal with earthquakes, tsunamis, and so on. But even mobile coverage, they want to push further beyond 5G. They want to introduce 6G. My goodness. And there's initiatives underway to expand coverage beyond the oceans and even the air. Okay, they had trials back in 2023 where they got started. But they have an independent, carbon-free, autonomous space infrastructure that they plan to launch in 2025, with initial demonstration trials getting started in 2023. So again, this is another example, just in case you missed the quant coverage of the night, because you're only here for the JASMY. Understanding the players that already have built the frameworks and now are testing it out. All roads still lead to 2025 of being where it's finalized, or as I would say, the utility that's in motion. I understand there's some crazy things that are happening in the world as we speak, right, with all this war, but I think this is definitely worth pointing out. As we jump more into what we have on the outline, you will also see that they got this whole thing of promising to connect vastness of space using light to deliver the ultimate eco-friendly infrastructure and shift away from terrestrial energy sources. Again, talk about Web3, you got to take it to the next level. And by powering the world with newer, clearer, greener way via space, NTT explores innovation that converts solar energy transmitted from even outer space into the Earth into electric power. That is profound. That is pretty amazing. Remember all the references we mentioned about ESG goals? It won't let me highlight that. But remember the whole thing with JASMY and ESG? It's all there. Take a look into it. Jump into the next part. What we have, here's a little bit more. This is straight from NIACJP. It's a press release that came out, I think not that long ago. Yeah, March 18th. I'm going to drop that into the comments as well. And here you go. And basically speaking, there was a project announced on March 18th this year about a project selected by JST and ANR for what, guys? For a Japan-France SIC Corp Edge AI accelerating R&D AI-based autonomous wireless access control technology. Oh my goodness. Wow. Can we blow that up more? Yes, we can. Let's do that. So, you know how many times, not just myself, the guys in our community, Little Bidman, you name it, IC Amphibian, Dip Metaverse, Brian, a whole slew of us, right? Shout out to Rob, Crypto Future, again, tons of us. Jesse, KR Finance, right? We've been talking for the longest time when it comes to JASMY and Edge AI. Where do we take it to the next level? Is it Junction? I think it is. But again, understanding action, reaction, supply and demand forces that are at play, working in the background. You're not seeing some of this information, maybe because it's not just simply being reported, or maybe researchers are not looking in the right areas, but these guys are. They definitely are. Look what's mentioned here. This is cool stuff. So you have this whole thing, even a report from Tokyo, and it talks about the NII, which is the National Institute of Informatics, and NTT, because we just talked about them. They're in cooperation with the CNRS, Institut de Recherche and Info, I'm not going to say it right anyway, but it's French, and Wavely. They have been selected through an open call proposal by the Japan Science and Technology Agency. An open call? Open call is a call for action. Huh. JST and even the French National Research Agency, which is the ANR, under the framework of Japan-France Strategic International Collaborative Research Program, which is SICORP, for what? Edge AI? Our selected research project, Light Swift, will give rise to power-saving lightweight edge AI technology for jointly exploiting wireless communications, sensing, in smart factories. Smart factories. Again, remember when JASMY first popped, went over a penny. Action, reaction. You have those semiconductor factories in Japan. Bills becoming acts. Acts are, of course, laws. This is very much worth paying attention to. As we blow this up, you're going to see more details, because I'm going to talk about the research and how they developed a lightweight edge AI-based technology that can operate even on small devices and terminals with limited computation and battery capabilities, as well as deep learning, reinforcement, learning-based wireless access technology, stemming from the joint research outcomes we have achieved so far. Doesn't that spell everything that we're looking forward to, especially when it comes to scaling up with this, DPIN and AI and the whole thing of like Junction, and also understanding where we're going to go here soon, hopefully by the summer, when it comes to JASMY. So it says they're going to advance the research on intelligent wireless access technologies, learn and adapt the dynamic fluctuations of the devices, the surroundings in particular. They have a method that will enable high-quality wireless communications even under challenging situations where many terminals need to communicate in an environment where radio channel conditions can degrade rapidly and in a complex manner due to the effects of moving shelves, pillars, people are right, and even machine tools inside factories. Yeah, you better believe it. We already shared all the highlights of some of this stuff, but you guys got to keep in mind when you look into it, even from this perspective, I know it's a little bit blurry, but come on, you can see how is this all going to work. How is it all going to work? Well, like I pointed out before, it's like a data ecosystem. Look what it says. Poor communication quality due to complex changes in the radio environment around individual devices. But if you have something, like they mentioned, taking even 5G to 6G, and how you can control all this with edge AI to improve the quality of data transmission. I mean, wow, pretty interesting. Because you can see how even IoT devices obviously are there. Talk about robotics. Remember how we use those examples from WITS? More IoT device sensors. Again, every time you see something about an IoT device, understanding where JASMY is going to play a factor, because they have the patents in place. And if you're new to all this, again, go to the video sections. I don't know, some people told me I've probably done 10 times the amount of videos compared to the average person when it comes to research about JASMY. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or anything, but again, let the research speak for itself. Take a look into it. Want to learn more about JASMY? Take a look into those videos. They are not time sensitive. So changes with associated terminal movement. Figure 1 aims the aim of that, I should say, of wireless access control with lightweight AI in the selected project. There's background about this. I mean, just in case you didn't know about 6G, it was envisioned, right? They envisioned that by the 2030s, the use of industrial Internet of Things, which is not just called IoT, it's called IIoT. These terminals for factory automation, automated driving will expand. Wireless communications will become paramount for controlling and managing these devices. The quality of communications varies from instant to what? Instant, depending on ambient environment. Given this inherent instability, it is difficult to ensure reliable communications, minimal packet loss, low latency. Want to know something? It drives me nuts to get packet loss. In fact, I had to get rid of my my last cable modem that was provided from my ISP, which is Cox Communications. And yeah, it's included on my monthly bill, but I didn't want to use that anymore. It was really, you could really tell it was like this old thing. I tried it out. As a result, for all you guys that have been watching me for a while, I was getting a lot of packet loss, and as a result, like I don't think I did a show for like a week or something. It was really bad. So I went to the store, and I got a brand new one that has never been used. But I like the idea of some of these things mentioned in regards to optimizing so there is no packet loss. Again, quality of data. Yeah, I covered JASMY quite a bit, but guess what? Filecoin also stands at the forefront when it comes to quality data sets and the technologies that are involved in making that all happen. As you jump more into this particular one, take a look at this for a second, because this is big stuff. Never really gets mentioned. Industrial Internet of Things. When we talk about institutions, realize the Internet of Things, IoT, will scale up as well. How so? Well, it's the quality of wireless communications and how they vary from instant to instant depending on the ambient environment. Now, what about the terminals? Well, the whole thing of industrial Internet of Things terminals, they're going to have to meet strict quality service requirements. I like that. It says, in addition to control the communications of many industrial Internet of Things terminals, it is necessary to cope with their surrounding mobile environment that vary independently. Look at this. Optimizing communications through centralized control poses the challenge of sending and receiving information from a massive number of devices, thereby consuming large amounts of power, bandwidth to manage the wireless access of all terminals in real time. But your key takeaway, especially if you're a JASMY holder, is where it says the power, the bandwidth, the management of wireless access, not just of some, but of all terminals in real time. When we talk about the concept of, as I would say, utility put into motion, that is your utility, and that is being put into motion big time, right? This is why I will never shut up about talking about JASMY, period. It's understanding there's cryptocurrencies that are out there that will claim utility, and there's the ones that will put up or shut up because they have already taken the liberty to build from the ground up years before there was a public offering. Understand, JASMY is not just 2021. JASMY dates back to what, 2016, even before that, with the history of Sony. Or are we not paying attention to some of this stuff? Look at this for a second. So there's two key points to this research. Back to the whole thing about low power. Now we talk about Tadashi Morita. He's an expert when it comes to low voltage. So by combining a low power edge AI technology, namely a lightweight AI that can be used by edge devices such as IoT terminals with low capabilities in terms of computation and battery, with the goal of optimizing the wireless communications and sensing. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Tadashi Morita, for being a pioneer of IoT. Do we not understand the plugs and connections? We need to, because we understand that it don't matter what retail narrative you heard. Like I said, the research trumps FUD 110% because you know what you have and you know why you hold it. A little bit more about this. So by doing so, they have this aim to establish technologies that can achieve stable and reliable communications despite the rapid, complex changes of environmental or mobile environmental environments in factories. Conventionally, they have been common to use base stations, controllers, management, communications in a centralized manner, but the proposed lightweight Edge AI will enable many distributed terminals to optimize their wireless access to rapidly react to the dynamic fluctuations of their mobile surroundings. By having a whole concept of quick reaction with IoT, again, don't overthink it. That is a lot of utility being used. All right, I'm gonna get down to this next part. This is also good stuff. Goes into some of these figures about this collaboration. But I want to jump down to this diagram because some of you guys like seeing this, okay? So how does it all come together? Well, it's pretty simple. You have a base station, wireless LAN, cellular, et cetera, et cetera. Wireless signals being sent out through radio, you name it. Where is it captured? It's captured on those wireless devices. How can we reduce packet loss? Well, maybe for some of the things that we talked about earlier, but it's the whole concept of autonomous optimization of these things and the amount of packets transferred over multiple radios and how they can optimize what, guys? The data. I don't know about you guys. I get tired sometimes of the idea that I'm watching something I'm out in the middle of nowhere or whatever the case be. And it feels like it's the 90s again, where everything I'm watching is just all chopped up and it's super, buffering problems and so on. Forget that, forget all that. But you're going to ask something that's going to access this all with IoT and optimize that data set. Optimization of data sets. What kind of value is there? And this is just scratching the surface. We haven't even talked about what about the emergency services out there. Again, medical. They need to have that data, and they need to have it like that because it's somebody's life that's on the line. Being able to access medical data instantaneous and have the quality of those data sets transponded instantaneously, even in the example of a life-threatening situation such as an earthquake or another natural disaster, tsunami, you name it, hurricane, can be profound. So getting into the next part of this, let's share something. Call it a bombshell. Call it whatever you want. Let's take you to the White House. Oh, no, I'm going to leave immediately. No, you're not. Hear me out. Let's not make it political. There's the link. You can go to, for example, whitehouse.gov/briefing-room. It's a statement. Here's a statement. Let's go ahead and blow this up. In this particular report, which comes straight from wh.gov, you will see something that's very, very interesting. On April 10th, 2024, again, shout out, I don't know if it's to Lil Bidman or MS. Thank you guys again. But in this report, not that long ago, was it 8 days ago, guys? Was it the 18th roughly? Something like that. You have the United States-Japan Joint Leader Statement. There's the whole thing of global partners for the future. Over the course of the last 3 years, the United States-Japan alliance did reach unprecedented heights. They arrived at this historic moment because of their nations individually working together and how it took courageous steps to strengthen and collect in a collective capacity in ways they could have seemed impossible just a few years ago. It says, at least then, that President Biden and Prime Minister Fumio Kishida celebrate this new era of U.S.-Japan strategic cooperation during the Prime Minister's official visit and state dinner in Washington, D.C. There was a pledge that the United States and Japan will continue their tireless work together with other partners to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific world, basically. In this new era, I'm not going to read everything about this, they have this whole thing of cooperation, recognizing global events, security, stability in the Indo-Pacific region, and even the world. They talk about a global partnership, interconnected challenges. But as I got into this, I said to myself, Japan, the United States, that's interesting. Why would that be so interesting? Well, it's this right here. Everything we've been talking about for a good almost year and a half, 2 years, and so on. And what does it say right here, guys? Yeah, you saw it. That's no typo. When we talk about the whole thing of templates, framework, blueprints for what? For the whole thing of regulatory compliance, but that regulatory blueprint for the United States. I said, and I mentioned this over a year ago, and not just me, other people who covered DFFT said, look, here's what's going on in Japan. They are literally taking the blueprint of what we need to do for Web3, and they took it to Europe, right? You saw Caro Tono talk to Margaret Vestager. Go look it up yourself. There's even recent interviews, okay? And he took it to her. Then she took it to all these other member states of the European Union. And then obviously other ones hopped on board. Then we even saw things even in regards to like Stellar and their introduction and blueprint and what they plan to do. But I always mention that in the House and even into the Senate, we have our own version of what is considered data free flow with trust. It's just not called that. Is this proof of like what I was talking about in the past about just that? Data free flow with trust and how that was the blueprint. I think this is the proof. Let's get more into this because guess what? I didn't just talk about some of those things in the past just because it sounded cool. I wanted to bring it to you guys to have you understand the bigger picture. When we talk about JASMY is going to be the first to move, is this a perfect example? I do think it really, really is. Let's go ahead and full screen this. Take a look into it. See it for yourself. So let's go up to this part real quick. This cooperation to deter and address economic coercion through bilateral cooperation through their work with like-minded partners, including the G7 for coordination platform on economic coercion, working to uphold a free, fair, rule-based economic order, address non-market policies, practices, build trusted, resilient, sustainable supply chains, promote open markets, fair competition under what the U.S.-Japan Economic 2+2 and the U.S.-Japan Commercialized and Industrial Partnership. We will advance our commitment to do what? Operationalize data free flow with trust, including with respect to data security. We will discuss the promotion of resilient and responsible seafood supply chains. On top of that, my God, the United States and Japan will recognize the climate crisis, the existence of challenges, the time frame, bring it all together. They have a shared goal of accelerating clean energy, that transition, launching a new high-level dialogue, implementing respective domestic measures, maximizing synergies, the impacts, and also including a U.S. Inflation Reduction Act. Interesting, because there's been a lot of doom and gloom about inflation here in the United States, but that act and Japan's green transformation promotion strategy in accelerating energy transition progress this decade, promoting complementary, innovative clean energy supply chains, improving industrial competitiveness. Oh my God. So my thing for you guys is understanding simply that, the bigger picture. And even though it seems like we're ending it on that, it gets even better. Because here's how. Have you not been paying attention to what's going on with NVIDIA, right? Some of you guys own NVIDIA stock. Check this out in itself. This is also just as big as this. Pull this up. Again, I can't remember if it's MS or Little Bidman on this one, but you guys both deserve a shout out. Let's pull this up. Great coverage tonight, guys. Great research. Call it alpha, call it whatever you want. Thank not just me, but people in our community who bring you the detailed information. Do not get flooded out of JASMY. I'm telling you flat out, not financial advice, but want to know something? I wouldn't want to be flooded out. I understand there's a lot of doom and gloom going on right now in the world. Again, like I always point out, this thing is a marathon. Let's see you get to that finish line, okay? So let's go ahead and full screen this. Look at this for yourself. NVIDIA powers Japan's ABCIQ supercomputer for quantum research. Now, I want to give a shout out. I had a talk with him earlier today, the one and only Jack Thompson. All right. He was talking about, is JASMY quantum resistant? A lot of you guys pay attention, obviously, like XPR and so on. Hey, just because old Max don't talk about XPR doesn't mean I'm oblivious to the whole thing, right? I understand it. I'm aware of it. Metal blockchain and so on. You guys are excited because you feel as though you want to be invested in the ones that are quantum resistant. Hey, just because you don't hear me talking a lot about that doesn't mean I don't pay attention. Now, I'm not saying that JASMY is quantum resistant, but this really caught my eye, and if anything, it should catch your eye or ears, depending on if you're driving down the road. I did see that we scaled up to over 500. You guys are listening. Thank you for doing that. Listen to this. So let's full screen this. So this comes straight from hpcwire.com. Let's go ahead and drop it in the comments for anybody that wants to nerd it out. There it is on YouTube. So NVIDIA powers Japan's ABCI-Q supercomputer for quantum research. When was this posted? It was posted today, March 18th, straight from San Jose, talking about this. And who is HPC Wire? Well, since 1987, they are covering the fastest computers in the world and the people who run them. Look at this for a second. NVIDIA announced that Japan's new ABCI-Q supercomputer designed to advance the nation's quantum computing initiative will be powered by NVIDIA platforms and accelerated in quantum computing. ABCI-Q will enable high-fidelity quantum simulations and research across industries. The high-performance, scalable system integrated with NVIDIA, CUDA, Q, and open-source hybrid quantum computing platform with powerful simulation tools, capabilities to program hybrid quantum classical systems. And look at this for you guys that build computers and so on, like myself. The supercomputer is powered by more than 2,000 NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs and 500 plus nodes interconnected by NVIDIA Quantum 2 Infinity Band and the world's only fully offloadable in-network computing platform. My God. Built by Fujitsu. Look at that. Global Research Development Center for Business, Quantum AI Technology, National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, and ABCI Supercomputing Center. ABCI-Q is expected to be deployed early next year and designed for integration with future quantum hardware. That is incredibly interesting, is it not? Who are some of the leading solution providers? Intel shows NEC. Obviously, NVIDIA is on that list. But as I got further down into it, it talks about how ABCI-Q is part of Japan's quantum technology innovation strategy, and they aim to create new opportunities for business and society to benefit from quantum tech, including research in AI, energy, and even biology. And what else can we show in regards to this? Well, you got to keep in mind that this bottom part was very interesting because it talks about NVIDIA. And we know a lot about NVIDIA, but NVIDIA in themselves, of course, are a pioneer in accelerated computing. And they had the invention of a GPU back in 1999. It sparked the growth of PC and gaming market. I remember all this. I remember my first GeForce 2 Titanium back in 2002. They ignited the era of modern AI, fueling industrial digitalization across markets. NVIDIA is now a full-stack computing infrastructure company with data center scale offering that are reshaping industry. Now, you may be asking, oh, that's cool. You shared a bunch of info in regards to NVIDIA. Great job, Max. Who gives a crap? I want to tell you something. You need to give a crap. Here's why you need to give a crap. Let's jump over to the latest report from the one and only Diesel Dog. Shout out to you, sir. Let's go ahead and share this. And here's something I shared before the show started. So he says, good day, all. The JASMY Junction family token week is here. Hara has stated clearly that Junction will be officially launching. Cannot wait to see this game changer in action. Can I zoom in more about this? You better believe I can. Look at this for a second. What does that show? A one-stop platform for AI services. Monetize your AI resources with a few clicks. Data center, miner, consumer GPUs. Yeah, you read that right. Consumer GPUs. My goodness, what do we have going on here? Well, looking more into this, you will see some things. GPU marketplace, a model hub, and a data pool. This is what Hara was presenting at that event from Teams 3 Summit last week. But to have that about a GPU marketplace and consumer GPUs and a data pool and having all this in regards to what? Junction, and how Junction obviously acquires what we got in regards to JASMY and pulling it all together. Do you not understand the bigger picture? This is bullish as all hell. I'm telling you flat out. Glad to cover it tonight. And my God, what a bunch of news we had tonight when it comes to all of this, the bigger picture, everything. Yeah, there's a lot of doom and gloom going on, but stay the course. Know what you have. Know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD, 110%. My goodness, everybody. Let's jump back into the comments. That concludes the coverage for the night. We'll see what you guys have. It's been an absolutely great show, and I wish success for all you guys. I really do pray that. I pray for God's blessings to be bestowed upon all of you guys. Want to know something? We all are weathering this whole thing of crypto. I get it. A lot of scary times, but hang in there. My thought and prayer to all you guys is that you will stay the course. Even if you don't agree with me, you hate me for whatever reason. Some people do. I still pray for even those people, because you want to know something? Maybe you were bullied or something. I don't know. You know, I forgive you nonetheless. Let's get back into the comments. All right, so let's see here. We have quite a few of you. I want to thank Cyan for obviously connecting. Thank you, sir, for being here. Do appreciate you being here. Great member of the JASMY community. Great researcher. Give him a follow over on X, just like you see Cyan 1K. All right, we're going to do now is read the last bit of comments. And I did see some familiar people here. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, well, cool. SPL. You're a Mets fan. I didn't know that. I thought you were a Padres fan. Anyway. Perfect timing. Go JASMY. Mark Reddit. Mark, I recognize you. Thank you so much for those few little AI videos that you have on your channel. I have referenced you in some of the deep dive content. Please recognize that they did go to good use. And you know what? You did an excellent job with that. So you are appreciated. Thank you for that. Everybody say hello to Mark Reddick. River, QNT Beans and Bullets. That's funny. It was 8:14, about 45 minutes ago. Michael Montclair, welcome. I don't know if you're still here, but welcome. We're going to go further down. Anthony Hall, welcome. He said, hey, Max, I do recognize you. Thank you for being here. Seem to have good insight. Does anybody remember when Magic said that we will hit lower lows before the dust? I was pretty adamant. Haven't seen Magic since then. Huh. All right. Let's see here. Tim Shea, welcome. Cool Cat. I think I might have read some of this. Custom Crypto. X gonna give it to you. F waiting for you to get it on your own. X gonna deliver it to you. That's funny. Oh, in a country accent? That'd be weird. X gonna give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gonna deliver it to you. Don't knock what it be. Want to mess with who? Mike Cornwell, aka this guy at the Triple C. All right, that's bad. All right, investing in JASMY, which is an AI which will take his job, but will make him a multimillionaire. Or some cases, depending on how big a bag you got and how long you're willing to hold it, maybe a billionaire. Who knows? All right. Shiny Goo says, let us go, Goo. Or let's go. There we go. Shiny Goo, welcome back. Thank you for your dedication, hours of research. You're very welcome. Thank you. It is nice to be appreciated. It is a lot of work, but it's okay. I'm not complaining. JASMY being used in the way. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Not like indirectly mentioned, obviously, but when you think about it, when we have studied JASMY, which we have, it's like, yep, look at all that IoT. Look at all this thing about data free flow with trust. Literally from the White House mentioning word for word data free flow with trust. Are you kidding me? I mean, everybody that's watching tonight, that should be your key takeaway when you hear something like that, because that solidifies all the research over the course of however long it's been, year and a half. Not just me. I can't take full credit, and I would never do that. But it's the people that put in the time to present this to us, the research and so on, you can always tell the people that just like they just look at the price movement. They never, as Dip Metaverse would say, never done a lick of research about some of this stuff because they just look at the chart. That's it. Oh, chart's not doing nothing. I'm out. Okay. Are these people, if you think about it, really bit by the crypto bug? And I understand there's a lot of people that are currently here watching patiently and listening. You haven't been bit by the crypto bug yet. You've never experienced a bull run. I'm telling you, you're going to get to that point too. And you're never going to shut up about it. Guaranteed. That much I will guarantee. I don't really guarantee much. But once anybody here has really, truly been bitten by the crypto bug, and what I mean by that is putting in a certain amount of money into this whole thing of crypto, and then literally seeing like unbelievable gains that you cannot or never experienced like with stocks. And I understand some people have experienced like crazy stuff with stocks. Hey, awesome. Good job for you. I don't mean that politely. But for myself, I'm in stocks too. I have never seen the gains in stocks like I did with crypto in 2021. Not even close. So as a result, I can't shut up and talk about this stuff. I will continue to talk about this stuff. And I'll continue to research this stuff. If I was able to get through college in 3.5 years and 4 degrees and set a school record, guess what? I could apply that research to what I do with crypto. And then guess what? I will continue to do it because I love it. This is what I love. I love talking about this stuff. I love sharing it with the community. What's there not to get excited about when it comes to this stuff? I understand there's a lot of doom and gloom going on, but guess what? It's what comes with the territory. It sucks. I get it. But you know what? How do we act accordingly about it, right? Vindo, if I pronounce that right. Check out Cheers Meme Coin. All right. Well, thank you for that. We did cover BYTE earlier. Custom Crypto, it's April 18th. Yep. All right. Let's see here. Will, we are sitting on goal 2.5 million tokens. Feels good, man. Right on. And shout out to you and your Detroit Red Wings. Boom. All right. Thank you, sir. You are awesome as well. And if you ever do anything more like that in the future, I mean, I will always go on your channel and take a look. You did an excellent job with the AI, and it really helped. I think I've done at least 2 or 3 videos now that feature some of your content. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it got flagged or whatever when you log in. So, but Mark, you rock. Thank you very much. You're awesome as well. Guys, please welcome Mark. Please welcome anybody you see that's part of this community who would take the time to help. That's all it's about. Trying to let people know the use case. Try to let people know that, JASMY is not a scam. Quant is not a scam, and all these things that people want to label it as. Again, Dip Metaverse, if you're listening, like you said, man, how these people done a lick of research? You always tell who has and who hasn't. Can win by folding. Appreciate the time and effort you put into compiling this invaluable information together for us. You're very welcome. I love the night approaching the castle behind you. Where did you get that pic from? I love it. I don't know. I don't know. It was, I think I typed in like a realistic green screen or something like that. And so in the past, I have this program that enhances it even that much better. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, some people, they're like, is that real? Is that not? It's not, but it looks pretty darn nice, right? And then so I took it from there. And then I customized the measurements. I was like, I want to make it look like it's a real thing. Because, Legrand Commission, shout out to him. I don't know if he's watching, but, Legrand Commission. He always says, Max, instead of going out buying new headphones, he's like, when are you going to just reach back there, Max, grab that off the wall and use that? I'm like, man, I wish I could, brother. I really wish I could, but I can't. So, but I enhanced the image and it does look really nice. You know, it'd be really, really cool when we talk about being like, having that life-changing wealth and so on. I think it'd be cool as hell to like literally reproduce this, but for real. And it's just like, hey guys, guess what? You know how we finally made it? Well, guess what? I will reach back there and pull that off and it ends up becoming a real thing. That would be the coolest thing in the world. I don't know. I don't know if I go that far into it, but it'd be cool. I mean, it does look pretty nice. And I am going to have the ultimate man cave at some point. But I do appreciate you as well. Can't win by folding, guys. Please give everybody a warm welcome if you haven't done so already. We are a great community that we have here. Come join the community. Come join, your fellow brethren, sisters, and so on. brothers and sisters and so on YouTube. I understand the people on X, but wherever you're going to be, it's more than fine. More than appreciate you guys. We have 528 people on the live. You guys rock. It is a frustration that I'm not monetized on X, but eventually will get there. It'll take some hard work. Robert Jerome, when the parabolic bull run starts, JASMY will skyrocket. He thinks the goal was to have $17 JASMY with the lockups. I think eventually, right? Yeah, we talked about that. Rob Hickman, just leaving the gym, and my brother from another mother still streaming. Thanks, Rob. That was obviously very nice of you. Let me see here. Wow. So Rob Mass is Rob Hickman. Interesting. Wow, Rob, you're a stud muffin, no homo, right? Anyway, yeah, I'm Rob Mass. I'm leaving the gym, and my brother from another mother still live streaming. Yeah, Maximus Crypto with his nice chest shit on, doing a live stream. Do it. Smash that like. Anyway, all right, enough about that. Do you think meme coin season is over after having altcoin season begins? Nah, I don't think it's over at all. For me, meme coin season will still even happen at the height of the bull run. That's when you really should pay attention. Like, that's what excites me about things like BYTE and so on. And I know I don't cover meme tokens quite often. In the future, and I'm not giving anything away, but like, if I had, for example, like a close friend, working on a meme project and so on, yeah, I'm going to share that because that's my close friend and I trust it. We talk about the internet trust. That's where I'm at. It's for me, it's these projects that I might be kind of iffy on. Like with BYTE, I don't feel like I can't trust BYTE because perfect 100 out of 100 score. You know what I mean? That tells me they get it. They understand that people like us are going to look at, these private self audits, if you will. You know what I mean? And so as a result, I'm like, okay, yeah, everything has a risk. I get that. But that's less of a risk for me. And everything we outlined at the beginning of the show, I wasn't just showing you guys, oh, here's this meme token, here's this because it looks cool. No, it's like, nope, this is what Elon Musk literally said yesterday. And here's what happened today. And here's what happened in history with Shiba Inu. And here's what happened with Doge. And here's what happened with Floki. Interesting, It's like connecting these things because, again, none of those ones are officially like partnered with Elon Musk. But did they run? Oh, yes, they ran. Big time, right? And I get that. All right. Stocks will crash because of the war. Yeah. Michael Montclair, thank you. Michael, I got to give you a heads up on something. So, when I did that whole thing of sharing your content, it flagged me big time. And so I had to shop that out on the live because, YouTube had a hissy fit. But on X, Elon Musk could give a crap, right? He's like, let's welcome it. You know what I mean? So in the future, I'll have to just show your channel. Unfortunately, I can't play it unless you did a song, right? That's your own song. That's not copyrighted or something like that. Anyway, just give me a heads up, buddy. I don't know how to pronounce this. Bolon IGN Abara. Sir Maximus, I see a war begun in breaking news. Any idea what coin you should invest in? Just wait until they're cooling off. I can't give you no financial advice, my friend. I covered quite a few things in regards to tonight in regards to BYTE, SUI, JASMY, Quant. You're more than welcome to watch the replays. If you want just the chopped up versions that don't have comments that you have to dig through, you go to the video section. So what you're watching is a live show. All you have to do is just click on the little icon, and there's a thing that says videos, and I do lots of deep dive content, tons of videos. You're more than welcome to take a look into that. All right, Sean. Hey, welcome. He says, BYTE to the moon. Yep. Sounds good to me. And I don't know. I'm not paid by BYTE to promote BYTE. I just think it's a good project. Rob Hickman. Yes, he says, was listening on the treadmill, broski. Oh, really? He's running. He's just like pumping iron and going through the treadmill. All right, enough about that. All right, Trust Truth. Big up, Max from Rue. Telegram came to the party late looking for his entrance, but the level of research is next level. Thanks, man. Thank you. You rock. Understanding what they're building for the future of Quant. JASMY Kiddos. Thanks, man. Yeah, Rue is awesome. He did send me a message about doing a collaboration himself, Underdog Research Channel, and also Shook Focus, and I also think maybe one other person, I can't remember. But whatever the case be, I'm totally down, and I look forward to it. We just got to get that date set, and that'd be great. Lots of great researchers from that panel for sure. Blackwood, Coinbase backs DGen, a network for meme coins. Memes ain't going away. I agree. Remember the Blackwood? I don't know if you were around last particular, bull market, but remember that narrative back then? Oh, the memes, they're done. They're done, and because the regulations will come and so, guys, we'll find ways around it. Let's just be honest. Like even me with KuCoin, I still use KuCoin. I'm in the the United States. How do I use KuCoin? Well, it's called I send USDT or even Circle to that wallet, and I swap it for whatever the heck I want over on KuCoin. It's really that simple. But again, the narratives of KuCoin don't allow for Americans. Yeah, they don't allow for Americans to purchase fiat. Again, we talk about supply and demand forces. If anything, there'd be even more demand for memes if the wild west of crypto is over. And I get that. Some people will say, well, I don't know. If meme coins are not able to legally, be around, then how can that be the case? I understand that as well. Let's see what happens. I'm not saying everything I'm saying is going to be 100% guaranteed in regards to the meme coin narrative, but I will agree. I don't think it's going away anytime soon, at least for now. I can't predict the future as far as, the gavel coming down on, the wild west of crypto, and they're just going to throw all meme coins into the mix. I still say, okay, does that mean it's just, here in America you can't do anything? What about there's a whole other world out there. There's Europe, there's Asia and so on. But teaches on. All right, Trust Truth says he's in Swiftcoin, Velo, Tomato, Spellcoin, NFC will blow. Some great projects right there. Any of you guys load up more on Swiftcoin? Dip down to the 0.004s. It's a real buy. You're welcome. Maybe that's not what you want to hear. It's just you can. I'm telling you flat out. I don't do fluff. I provide solid research. Just literally go into some of the ones. How about this? You will see some ones that was recently posted, especially for JASMY, Quant, Stellar, right? Video section. But I do welcome you, IGN Elbara, and I'm glad to have you here. You heard Corey B-Base say, JASMY scam. All right, Max, I didn't go all in on crypto until the start of the bear market. I've never seen a bull run. Oh, well, guess what? At least you invested at the right time. You're going to be more than good. And if anything, you've probably already seen some gains already. Thanks, Southern Contrarian. Appreciate that. And let's read the last comment of the night. He says, wait. Are you telling me that Americans can transfer stablecoins to KuCoin and still buy alts, but just can't onboard fiat? I guess you could say that. Yeah. I mean, I basically just send it from other wallets right to there, So flags my IP address, but who cares? I stake there too. I still stake Luna Classical there. And then as soon as it runs out on my staking reward, I just put it back in. I create my own manual compounded interest. It's pretty cool. I started off with 15 million Luna Classic tokens, and I'm at 19 million. Yeah. Not complaining about that. All right. You guys all have a great night. Old Max is maybe gonna get a snack or something because I've been kind of fasting the last couple of days. So anyway. So nice pressed shirt, huh? Got to do it. Do it now. Look good on live stream for next time when you're on with Rob Mass, aka Crypto Future. That's what you need to do, Max. You need to go pump some iron. Get on the virtual treadmill with Rob. Do pump on iron. He's a former professional wrestler. You look at you talk about Augustine Costins, fat kid on cake. You are fat kid on cake talking about Quant. Do it. Get into shape. Have generational wealth. Do it. Pump iron. Do it now. All right. We had our fun. You guys all have a great rest of your evening. If I do happen to see you tomorrow, it's possible, not guaranteed. May see you maybe on Saturday or Sunday. It just depends. But obviously tomorrow's a big day. Might be on tomorrow, maybe. All right, we'll see. No guarantees though. I'll chop up some videos for you guys tomorrow. Smash that like on your way out. By all means, check out Rob Hickman, aka Rob Mass, aka Crypto Futures live show. And also check out his channel, which is Crypto Future 99. And he can be also followed on X over at Rob Mass with 2 B's. You can follow me over on X like you already have been. I do appreciate it. And if anything, know what you hold, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. And last but not least, go Phoenix Suns, baby. 6th seed, but doing some things. They've defeated that number 3 seed to get to that number 6 seed, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nothing against you guys are Minnesota fans, but go Phoenix Suns, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Play-in final games tomorrow. I'm so bullish. We're looking excited. Jasmine, the Trojan horse, into the White House. I don't know, River. May have some research. I don't know. Suns in 3. How could we have Suns in 3? It's a 7-game series. That's okay. All right. No worries. All right. Sayonara for the Racecraft Consortium. Let's go. Michael Cordoba not commenting in the comments right now at finish line. Let's go. Scam. All right. Bye-bye.